Good morning. A state visit second to none.
The royal family woo President Donald Trump as King Charles praises the special relationship between the UK and the US.
Mr. President, from York to New York, from Birmingham, England to Birmingham, Alabama, we are united by a common language and shared heritage.
Well, the President prepares to head to Chequers this morning to meet the Prime Minister.
But could a press conference held by the two world leaders cause an embattled Sir Keir Starmer further issues?
Yes, from pomp and pageantry at Windsor Castle to politics at Chequers, the Prime Minister will greet the President here today for talks and a potentially very tricky press conference.
The Home Secretary accuses migrants of mocking British laws as she vows to appeal blocks on deporting migrants to France.
Breaking news overnight, the US late-night host Jimmy Kimmel's programme is pulled from the airwaves.
Is it time to bring back stricter dress codes after this picture of a mayor wearing a Hawaiian shirt and shorts to a military event went viral? We'll be debating just that.
And in the sport, Liverpool get their customary injury time winner to beat Atletico Madrid in the Champions League last night, whilst Harry Kane scores 2 for Bayern Munich as they beat Chelsea in Germany. Not a great start for Ange Postecoglou as Forest lose to Swansea in the Carabao Cup. And in Tokyo, Jake Whiteman just misses out on gold in the World Athletics Championships.
Big contrasts across the UK today. A very wet day for some, a warm day for others, and temperatures likely to rise in the southeast for tomorrow, maybe up to 26 degrees Celsius. Find out all the details with me coming up shortly.
It's just gone 6 o'clock. I'm Stephen Dixon.
I'm Ellie Costello, and this is GB News Breakfast.
I like to start with a bit of food
Always.
first thing
Oh,
in the
yes.
morning.
Always.
Apparently, there's a right way and a wrong way to do cheese on toast, according
I
to the
didn't
Mail
read that.
this morning. But it's if you're putting Worcester sauce on.
Oh, well, you don't.
Well, Worcestershire sauce, as they call it in this.
Worcestershire.
Apparently, the experts at Liam Perrins, who make said sauce, say you shouldn't put it on top of the cheese. You need to put it on top of the bread and then put the cheese on.
You know I have to opt out of this, don't you?
Do I? Oh, you don't eat cheese? I don't eat Worcester
you're
sauce.
a bit weird.
So should we just go and have some toast?
Toast, yeah.
Yeah, toast, you can't go wrong. I love cheese on toast, but I'd say a nice bit of pickle on cheese and toast.
Pickle's nice.
Good, right?
Bit of
Chutney,
Marmite.
a little onion chutney.
Yeah, that's okay.
Pretty good, that's all right.
I used to like Worcester sauce, but it's made with anchovies.
Is it?
Yeah, and I don't eat fish, so it's made with anchovies.
Oh.
So that's enough to put you off, isn't it?
I haven't had cheese on toast in a long time. That's the ultimate comfort food, I feel.
See, you're looking at me. You know what I'm like with cheese. I
know.
just hate cheese.
Beans
I can't
on
eat
toast,
cheese.
same idea.
Beans on toast I could do.
Yeah.
With some
Same rule applies.
Worcestershire sauce.
Yeah, same rule applies, I think,
Yeah.
on that one.
Yeah,
Ultimate
there you
comfort food. It's good when the season's changing.
It is, yeah. My dad does a good cheese on toast, actually.
What does he do?
I don't know what he does with it, but it's always just really nice.
Oh, we'll have to ask him.
I'll have to ask him.
It's often nicer when someone else does it for you, though, isn't it?
Well, yeah, it's always
So
nice when
true.
someone else does it. Anyway, enough food.
Well,
there was lots of food last
There was lots
night.
of food last night. Yes, good segue.
Actually, the menu, I was looking at the menu for the state banquet last
So
night.
interesting.
It was, but it's all... This is what I don't understand.
I've
The
got it.
entire menu's in French.
Yeah, because that is the ancient language of diplomacy.
Is that
Oh,
why
for
it is?
crying
I
out
learned
loud.
that at the
Seriously?
funeral. Yes,
So
do
they
everything in
actually
French.
have the menu in French?
Yes, it's
Yeah.
all in French.
Yeah, and it's in the papers this morning. So the starter was watercress panna cotta, which sounds awful, with parmesan shortbread and a quail egg salad.
Well, panna cotta de cresson et œuf de caisse sable de parmesan.
Exactly.
I mean, you look at it, you go,
Yeah.
The
I mean,
main course sounds quite nice,
Go on.
which is chicken wrapped in courgettes with a thyme and savoury infused jus.
ballotine de poulet fermier en robe de courgette.
Wyoming, nil point. United Kingdom, no points.
And the pudding sounds really good, which is a vanilla ice cream bomb with Kentish raspberry sorbet and plums.
And lots of
Bombe
celebrities there.
glacée cardinal.
Sorry, pardon.
Pardon.
Just in case we've got anyone in France.
Nick Faldo was there. I saw Nick Faldo, the golfer, was there. So was there a lot of
Yeah.
celebs there?
Well,
I don't
not
know
as many
about celebs.
as we've seen before. It's more business leaders like the boss of Microsoft was there.
Right.
Rupert Murdoch was there.
And the boss of BlackRock,
Yeah.
which is the investment company which is now ploughing £90 billion worth of investment into this country.
Fine, OK.
Which, you know, so he's earned himself a ticket, hasn't he?
Yeah, that's the way to do
certainly
it.
does.
Yeah. Anyway, right, we better crack on with what happened last night because it was that state banquet at Windsor Castle. The President called it one of the highest honours of his life.
Yes, he also said it was a privilege to be the first American president treated to a second state visit on the first day of his unprecedented trip drew to a close.
Well, King Charles used his speech to reflect on the enduring relationship between the two nations and even referenced support for Ukraine.
Our countries have the closest defence, security and intelligence relationship ever known. In 2 world wars, we fought together to defeat the forces of tyranny. Today, as tyranny once again threatens Europe, we and our allies stand together in support of Ukraine to deter aggression and secure peace.
Well, we're joined now by royal commentator Sarah Louise Robertson. Good morning to you, Sarah Louise.
Morning.
And I thought it was so interesting listening to the King there because he almost made a political point, didn't he? Talking about Ukraine, talking about the aggressor, but he stopped short of mentioning Russia at all.
Yes, that's right. I think this just shows last night's success of the Royal State Banquet just shows the power of the soft diplomacy of the royal family, doesn't it? It really does. I mean, you've just obviously talked there about President Trump. His favourite word of the night was unprecedented because everything... I mean, it's almost like trooping the Donald. That's what they're saying it as, rather than trooping the colour. But the fact he obviously was enjoying himself so much, he was in awe of, I think, the spectacle that was put on for him. And then King Charles making that pointed statement, but President Trump nodded along in agreement. So I think that's very, very interesting that the King used his soft diplomatic power just to let it be known which way Britain is going and that, you know, we will continue to support Ukraine. So,
But this is the thing. We know Donald, shouldn't call him Donald, the President.
the President.
The President. We know the President has got, I mean, to say a soft spot for the royals is an understatement. He adores the royal family. And so this is a really good way of getting across to him what we want as a country.
Exactly, and that's what I'm saying. You know, it's the fact the King has that influence on the President of the United States because of that love that Donald Trump has for this country and for our royal family. I mean, he was cock-a-hoop when he was around the Princess of Wales, wasn't he? Thrilled. I don't know if you saw that touching moment where he helped adjust the princess's chair for her to sit down, and he could not stop beaming. I don't think I've seen that man look as happy since when he won the election.
He's thrilled.
For the second time.
He's absolutely thrilled to be here, isn't he?
Absolutely.
Let's talk about the Princess of Wales.
Yes.
Because she looked absolutely stunning at the state banquet last night.
Resplendent. I agree with you, Ellie. I do think it is the most beautiful we've ever seen Princess Catherine look before, even more than her wedding day. It was just incredible. What a gown. That was the British designer that she chose, Philippa Lepley. Absolutely beautiful. I thought she was going to go with Jenny Packham, who is another favoured British designer of her, but she went with Lepley, and then she matched that fantastic couture gown with her favourite tiara, which is the Queen Mary Lover's Knot Tiara, which was commissioned for Queen Mary. That was the late Queen Elizabeth's grandmother in 1914, and it's a favourite of Princess Catherine's. I don't know if you know, but she's worn it a total of 10 times out of 15 for these sort of special state occasions. And I think the reason why is it just suits her so well, and with her having that incredible hair and such a beautiful face, and she has that supermodel figure which just can carry off. She could put a bin bag on and still look drop dead stunning. But last night I mean, I knew she was going to pull it out of the bag. She always does, but I think that's just blowing every fashion watcher and royal watcher's expectations congratulations out of the window. She looked incredible last night, really did. And as I say, President Trump, he was just thrilled. He couldn't take his eyes off her. I think there's a crush going on there. In a lovely way, of course. I don't mean anything. It was all very lovely. But Melania seems to have got on very well with the Princess of Wales. So they've struck up quite a rapport.
Together, aren't they,
yes,
today?
That's right, yes. And I think, so Princess Catherine's taken Melania, the First Lady, out into the gardens in Windsor, and they're going to be talking about nature and how nature's great for young children. And the Princess of Wales is going to talk about how nature was a great healer for her when she was going through her battle with cancer. But gosh, she has bounced back in such an enormous way. When we think about a year ago where we were with her to now, and how incredible she looks, and she's beaming and she's happy, and I just think she is the most wonderful asset we have for this country. And if the late Queen could see now how her and the Prince of Wales, William, conducted themselves last night, and as I say, the president, you know, the most powerful man in the world, Donald Trump, is really, really, really fond of them. And he said he thinks the world of William, as well as his father, the King. So I'm hoping, you know, obviously, that when that time comes, when William does ascend to the throne, that special relationship between our two countries is able to continue. Yes, it really is. Seeing the Princess of Wales, she's just amazing.
Yeah, Sarah Louise Robertson, good to see you this morning. Thank you very much.
Well, day 2 of the state visit getting underway this morning as the President prepares to travel from Windsor to Chequers ahead of the meeting with the Prime Minister. So what's going to come up there? Let's talk to our political correspondent, Catherine Forster, who's already at Chequers, waiting in the dark for the arrivals. Morning, Catherine. I mean, what's going to be on the agenda? Because everyone is saying, how difficult is this going to be in the wake of the Mandelson affair?
Well, potentially very difficult indeed in the press conference this afternoon. But look, nobody does it better, do they, than the Brits in terms of putting on a show, and the royal family in particular. So I think they have succeeded in getting Donald Trump into the best possible mood. I haven't seen pictures of him smiling like that as he was with the King and the Queen last night, along with the First Lady, since he was on his first state visit with the late Queen, really smiling from ear to ear. So he's at Windsor at the moment. He will be coming across to Chequers this morning. He will be greeted by the Prime Minister. They will then take a tour of the Sir Winston Churchill archives, which are stored here. Of course, the President is very proud of having that bust of Sir Winston Churchill back in the Oval Office. Then there will, of course, be meetings. There will be UK and US investors there too, talking about trade. The government very keen to trumpet £150 billion of US investment coming our way, the biggest amount of investment ever attached to a state visit, we are told. So that's good news. 7,500 high-quality jobs, they say, but no movement on steel tariffs, it seems. We were told 4 months ago, weren't we, that they were going to be at 0, yet we're still paying them at 25%, and it doesn't look like they're going to budge on that. And then, of course, there's going to be the press conference, I think, a real moment of jeopardy. You never know what Donald Trump is going to say. He is nothing if not unpredictable. And the awkward topics that could come up, of course, Ukraine, of course, Gaza, potentially difficult because the UK wants much more support for Ukraine and much more support in terms of aid for Gaza and bringing an end to those conflicts. But also, of course, on free speech, highly likely to come up. And then the word that nobody wants to talk about, Epstein. Awkward for the royal families, awkward for the Prime Minister, given he just had to sack our US ambassador last week over his links to Epstein, and awkward for the President, a topic that no one wants to talk about, but you can bet your bottom dollar that journalists will bring it up this afternoon.
OK, Catherine Forster there for us. And Chequers, thank you very much.
It's 6:14, breaking news overnight, and the US talk show host Jimmy Kimmel's late-night programme has been suspended following comments he made about the shooting of Charlie Kirk. A spokesperson for the Disney-owned network ABC said the programme will be off the airwaves indefinitely. President Trump commented, taking to Truth Social to congratulate ABC and saying Kimmel had zero talent. Mr. Kimmel has yet to comment.
A group of severely ill children have landed in the UK from Gaza for urgent medical treatment. They're the first to arrive as part of a government-run scheme. More children are expected to arrive in the coming weeks.
Legislation to abolish Scotland's not proven verdict has been passed at Holyrood. The scrapping of the third verdict, which dates back to the 17th century, is part of a number of measures aimed at reforming the justice system. It has the same effect as being found not guilty. The accused is acquitted and is innocent in the eyes of the law. It's an interesting one, isn't it? Because if you were found not proven on something, there'd still be that glimmer of suspicion hanging over you.
And court of public opinion will probably say, well, there might be something to see there.
Yes, so it's probably just as well it's going, really. Yeah. Right, should we have a look at the weather?
Let's, with Alex Deacon.
Expect warm spells with the odd rude interruption. Box Boilers sponsors the weather on GB News.
Morning, welcome along to your latest weather update from the Met Office here on GB News. Warm conditions for some today, pretty wet conditions for others. Been a very windy night across northern Scotland. The wind's easing here a little bit, but still plenty of showers packing in over the Highlands. Quite a damp start again for Wales, and the rain's going to get heavier through the day over northwest England, parts of Northern Ireland. Quite a bit of cloud this morning over central and southern parts of England, but that cloud should break up. Much of the east will stay dry and bright, and with some sunshine here, 23, 24, maybe even 25 Celsius. Cooler further west, should be turning drier and brighter across Wales by this afternoon, but getting quite breezy as the rain continues to come into Northern Ireland later today, and it will pep up in southwest Scotland as well. Those gusty winds, as I said, steadily easing over northern Scotland, but still quite breezy here. The showers should ease too. We'll see some sunshine over eastern Scotland. After a largely dry, bright day, we'll see the central belt turning damp for this evening. Some heavy rain likely over parts of northwest England, and North Wales seeing the odd shower, but generally turning drier over Wales and staying fine for much of the day over the Midlands, southern and eastern England. Just a bit breezy here. Through the night, that zone of wetter weather will continue, so further heavy rain possible over northwest England, North Wales and southwest Scotland, especially the brighter colours there. Need to watch that because the rain building up over the next 24 hours or so. Another pretty mild night in the south. Temperatures, well, they won't stay in the mid-teens in towns and cities. On to Friday, and again, big contrasts. Warm with some hazy autumn sunshine over eastern England, staying pretty wet for parts of northwest England, north and west Wales. Something a bit brighter for much of Scotland, Northern Ireland, some good spells of sunshine here, and temperatures here getting into the high teens, but mid-20s likely over parts of eastern England, maybe even as high as 26 Celsius across the southeast tomorrow.
Expect warm spells with the odd rude interruption. Box Boilers sponsors the weather on GB News.
Now 18 minutes past 6. It's time now for the Daily Reflection.
The GB News Daily Reflection.
Hello, my name is Nimsa Bunge, and I'm the pastor of Freedom's Ark, a member of the Evangelical Alliance here in the Tottenham Town Hall. In Luke chapter 10, two religious leaders saw a man in need and walked on, but a Samaritan, someone unexpected, stopped to help. Martin Luther King Jr. once said, "The priest and the Levite asked, 'If I stop, what will happen to me?' But the Samaritan asked, 'If I don't stop, what will happen to him?'" You see, it's easy to talk about compassion, but it's harder to practice it. Yet fate often invites us to step forward towards pain, not to walk past it. So let us pray that God of mercy help us not to walk past people's pain. Make us neighbors indeed, and generous in love, never to ignore the other, but to always be there for one another. Amen.
Still to come for you, the Home Secretary is vowing to change human rights laws to stop migrants from exploiting them, avoiding deportation. I'll tell you more in a moment.
This is our country, and we think it's amazing. From high tea to the high street, we love it all. Even the rain, we like that too. There's nowhere else we'd rather be. That's why we're here to be the fearless champion of Britain, its voices and its values. Because we are GB News, the People's Channel, Britain's news channel.
Exciting news. Every Friday, my Patrick Christie's Tonight Show is going to have a twist to it. We're welcoming some special guests. You. That's right, on Fridays I'm going to be doing my show in front of a live studio audience because this show is about you and what you have to say. It's going to be the same big debates, same big topics, same big opinions. But every Friday night at 9 p.m, you are invited to come on down to Patrick Christie's Tonight to be a part of the action. Only on GB News, the People's Channel, Britain's news channel.
Decisions made in Washington aren't just shaping America, they're shaping Britain too. From migration to global security, from crime to health. Whatever happens in the White House today
will be felt in your town or city tomorrow.
That's why The Late Show is live from Washington, D.C.
Cutting through the politics to show you what it all means for Britain.
The Late Show Live starts Monday night at midnight.
Only on GB News,
Britain's news channel.
6:23 now. Here's a surprise. Deportation chaos has sparked an urgent review of Britain's modern slavery laws.
Yes, the Home Secretary Shabana Mahmood says that last-minute claims are undermining the government's new partial returns deal with France.
Well, a High Court ruling this week halted the removal of a 25-year-old Eritrean after he lodged a slavery claim just days before his planned flight.
The setback has left ministers unable to deport a single migrant. That's despite booking seats on planes to Paris for 3 days running.
Let's talk to former Conservative advisor Charlie Rowley. Good morning.
Good morning.
It comes as no surprise, does it, that the minute you try and get people on planes, these human rights claims are getting lodged?
Well, you're absolutely right. It'll be a shock to people that even with a change of government, even with a change of Home Secretary in the last few weeks, but no surprise that these flights cannot get off the ground. And people will be up in arms because not only can we not seem to be able to deport people, even if you have a one-in, one-out scheme, something that seems, not something that I would support. I don't think it's what the public want. I think they want to get rid of people that have come into this country illegally. They don't want to sort of trade like for like. But that's where we are. But even when a sovereign nation like the United Kingdom does a deal with another sovereign nation that is on the forefront of Western democracy, that is France, and we can't get somebody on a plane who's come from Eritrea, who's clearly had their claim denied in the UK, only for 48 hours, 24 hours before that flight takes off, they've all of a sudden discovered that they have been trafficked in some way, or they have been abused under the Modern Slavery Act, and they've been able to halt the whole process. This is a joke. And the British public will be sitting at home thinking, how on earth can any government, once bitten, twice shy. The last government, under the Tories, got it hopelessly wrong. This government should have learned all of those lessons, and yet we can't get those flights off the ground. It's beggars belief, and I think lots of people will be very angry about it.
I mean, there's so much focus on the ECHR, isn't there? But actually, it's the Modern Slavery Act in this case that needs to be looked at, isn't it? Because people can just change their story. In this case, with this man, he said initially that he'd suffered no exploitation at all, and then when it looked as though he was set to be deported, he said, oh, no, I was. So if you're allowing people to change their story, well, then they're never going to be deported.
Well, exactly. And this will just be now an example that everyone else will try and follow to prevent their own deportation. Now, there's a question in the Home Office today whether actually, when you arrive into the UK, when you have your process claimed, you should be asked that question as well about modern-day slavery at the same time. Well, hello. Absolutely. So you've got to ask, why are Home Office officials not bringing all this together? This is not a new topic, I'm afraid to say. This is not something that is a new issue that a government has to grapple with. The last government totally failed to get a grip on it. We've had a Home Secretary, previous Home Secretary, now Foreign Secretary, that spent 5 years as the shadow Home Secretary, who spent, I think, a year and a bit as the chair of the Home Affairs Select Committee. If anybody should be as prepared as they possibly can be to get on top of this issue and to deal with this crisis, it should have been this Labour government. And yet again, more headlines this morning where people cannot seem to be deported from the UK.
At least, though, with this, the new Home Secretary, Shabana Mahmood, who we were told was going to be tougher on all of this, she does seem to be coming out fighting.
Well, she does. And, I think most people would welcome what she said to make sure that she'll be fighting those vexatious claims. It won't be lost on anyone that those vexatious claims tend to come from left-wing leaning lawyers or charity groups that have received government funding. And I think that's the other thing. The charity that has been providing advice to people on effectively how you can avoid a deportation or how you might be able to claim additional wrongs that have happened in your life, in your journey, that will stop your flight taking off, they get a tax relief. I remember the story not so long ago where we were up in arms about lawyers prosecuting British service personnel that had served on the front lines that were actually defending our own interests back home. We've now got a situation where the government of the day is trying to defend effectively its borders, protect its borders, that is trying to get a grip on deporting people that don't have a claim to remain in the United Kingdom, and it's being upheld and thwarted by left-wing, it seems to me, charities and lawyers again. So I'm pleased that the Labour Home Secretary, the new Labour Home Secretary, is trying to get on top of it and talking tough. But until we see those flights take off, until we see any scheme to remove people from the UK who shouldn't be here, then I think the public will be continuing to be rightly angry.
OK. Charlie Rowley, thank you very much.
Sure you've got some views on that. gbnews.com/you'll say. In the meantime, if you are travelling to work or school this morning, here's your traffic and travel update.
Crash Law 24 sponsors GB News Traffic and Travel Report.
Good morning. This is the latest AI travel news from gbnews.com. Motorists on the A92 should be aware of restrictions in both directions. The road is closed for double-decker buses and the speed limit has been reduced to 30 miles per hour for safety. Drive with caution and expect some delays. Meanwhile, an accident has closed all lanes on the A12 northbound between Junction 15 and Junction 16. Please seek alternative routes as traffic builds. And on the trains, Northern buses are replacing trains between Corkickle and Whitehaven, and there are no trains at Swanwick on the South Western Railway. Stay alert on the roads and consider adjusting your journey to avoid these areas. For more travel updates, go to gbnews.com.
Crash Law 24 sponsors GB News Traffic and Travel Report.
Now, do stay with us. Still to come, Liverpool kicked off their Champions League campaign with a win, but they left it till the last minute once again. Paul Coit will be here with all the details in just a minute.
Welcome back to Britain's Newsroom with Andrew and Beth.
Hello everyone, Patrick Christie's here.
I'm Michelle G. Britain's News Channel.
Access the stories that matter to you. Take the GB News family with you on any device. And as long as you have an internet connection, tune in to GB News anywhere on the planet or beyond. GB News, the People's Channel, Britain's News Channel.
From the school run to the home run, watch a new show for all of Britain.
So he can say whatever he wants.
A straight talking show where all voices are heard.
And, you know, when are we going to stop talking about smashing the gangs and actually do it?
With the stories that matter from every part of our country.
There's a bit of a crash landing there for your Chancellor.
Bold, fearless and standing up for you. That's me, Martin Daubney, 3 p.m. till 6 p.m, weekdays, here only on GB News. The People's Channel, Britain's news channel.
Westminster's full of talk, but out here, it's the real world.
Am I allowed to talk then?
No, that's it. This is where it matters, real people and real lives. That's what politics is all about.
In fact, has Trump made a good start? No.
Straight answers, no spin, and just a couple of pints. How many fingers have I got up?
About 10.
So join me for Lee Anderson's Real World every Friday at 7 p.m, only on GB News. The People's Channel, Britain's news channel.
You want to know what's really going on in the corridors of power? Labour don't know what to do with you half the time, and that makes you quite lethal in the chamber. Get behind the headlines with Chopper's political podcast. Join me, Christopher Hope, as I sit down with the great and the good of British politics. We'll see where this ruling takes us. These are the stories shaping our nation. Chopper's political podcast, available now on all platforms. Listen in and stay ahead.
Miriam, you can't be serious. Scrapping the triple lock on state pensions? Madness.
Andrew, we just can't carry on pretending. The numbers just don't add up. We've got to be honest with people. We've got to face the facts. That's what people want.
Well, that's what you get on GB News and on Britain's Newsroom. Lively debates, lively conversation.
Britain deserves a newsroom that puts the facts and your voice first, and we're not afraid to hold power to account.
And each other. So join me, Andrew Pierce.
And me, Miriam Gates, for Britain's Newsroom, weekdays from 9:30 on GB News.
The People's Channel, Britain's news channel.
Britain was once the envy of the world. But look around. A nation that no longer knows what it is or where it's going. A country that's broken. How do we fix Britain? How do we bring it back? Friday night with Matt Goodwin at 8 p.m, only on GB News.
.33 and it's time for the Great British Giveaway. Your chance to be our biggest winner to date with that prize package worth more than £104,000.
Yes, a brand new motorhome and £30,000 in tax-free cash. Here are all of the details that you need.
It's our biggest, greatest Great British giveaway to date. Your chance to win a prize package worth over £104,000. You could be driving away with this brand new Benamar Primero motorhome. With thanks to Marquis Leisure, this 4-berth home from home comes complete with integrated kitchen and bathroom areas, sky view roof lights, and has all the tech you'd expect from the latest 2025 model. We'll also give you an incredible £30,000 in tax-free cash to make sure any adventures in your motorhome are taken in style.
For another chance to win, text WIN to 63225. One entry costs £2.50 plus one standard network rate message. Or text BONUS to 63225. 5 entries cost £5 plus one standard network rate message. Go to gbnews.com/win. Entry start at £2.50. Call 0903 686 3232. Calls cost £2.50 plus your network access charge. Or post your name and number to GB16 PO Box 8690 Derby DE1 9TT. UK only. Entrance must be 18 or over. Lines close at 4 p.m. on the 31st of October. The winner will be contacted live on GB News, week commencing 10th November. Please check the closing time if listening or watching on demand. Good luck.
It's time now to go through all the latest sports news with Paul Coit, who's here with us. Morning.
Hello. Liverpool 3, Atletico Madrid
2.
2 is right. 92nd minute winner for Liverpool. They're making a habit of this, you know.
They keep us on our toes.
Well, look at this. This season, Bournemouth, 88th minute. Bournemouth, again, 94th minute. Newcastle in the 100th minute. This is in a 90-minute game of football, by the way. Arsenal, 83rd. Burnley, 95th. Atletico Madrid, 92nd. So if there's a lesson to be learned, if you're playing Liverpool, you stay, you wait till the fat lady sings.
Yeah.
No offence to any larger bone people, but there you go. That's that. They do it every time. And the thing is, where you get teams that, where you get people go, oh, you know, they're so lucky when they score at the end. Great teams seem to do that. They play until the end and just keep going. They were 2-0 up after 7 minutes. Atletico came back, because that's the other thing Liverpool keep doing, is like get the lead and then they get pegged back and then they come through and score the winner. Arne Slot, it was his birthday yesterday, by the way.
Happy birthday.
Oh, we can do that. Well, let's hear from what Arne Slot has to say about the game, and then you can guess how old he was yesterday. Here's Arne.
A game like this should not have gone to a late game winner. Although, again, it's not easy to beat Atletico Madrid because of their mentality, but I can come up with numerous moments where we could have scored the third one, which we didn't. And that is maybe a bit different to the Burnley game or the Arsenal game or the Newcastle game, where we didn't create so many as we did tonight.
So how old do you think Arne Slot?
I think he's younger than he looks.
Yeah.
Yeah, because the lack of hair is quite...
I'll go 47.
Oh, well...
What would you say?
57.
47 is right. It's 47.
Right.
47 yesterday.
Hey!
Oh, well done.
Very good.
Very good.
Very good. We'll play birthdays later. Bayern Munich beat Chelsea 3-1. Harry Kane scored 2. Very impressive. Tonight, Champions League. So Man City play Napoli, the return of Kevin De Bruyne, and Newcastle play Barcelona. So that's Champions League Day 3 tonight. Right. World Athletics Championships.
Oh, yeah.
Now, a friend of ours, we've had him on the show, Jake Whiteman. Jake is just one of the loveliest men, and he's had a really tough time. Now, he's the world 1,500 metres champion in 2022, then got really bad injuries. He had his Olympic suit. He was all ready for the Olympics last year, then got injured. I think he's had a broken foot as well. And do you remember the story about his dad being the commentator? And his dad, who was his coach, Jeff Whiteman, and so he commentated on when he won the 2020. Look, here's the race anyway. I was hoping that wasn't going to start yet, but there we are. Now, that's Josh Kerr with the sunglasses. He was the current champion, and there's Jake Whiteman in the blue vest. Now, I'm thinking, I even sent Jake a message yesterday, said good luck, and he replied. He said, oh, thanks ever so much, we really appreciate it. I said, we're all behind you. So now we're coming into the last 100. Now, there's Kerr, who's got an injury. He got an injury, although he continued to race. Now, look, last 100 metres, right up in front there, Jake Whiteman. It's looking good. I'm screaming at the TV. This is about 3 o'clock yesterday afternoon. And then Isaac Nader. Isaac Nader from Portugal has to ruin the party.
Yeah, but he still got silver, though. That's impressive.
It is really impressive. And before the heats, he went out there and he was sitting on the team bus, Jake, and said, you know what, if this doesn't go very well, I think it's time to call it a day. And what does he do? He goes out and gets world silver medal. So it was a brilliant performance, but 2/100ths of a second away from winning gold.
Oh, he did well. He should be proud of that.
See, absolutely, but how would you feel?
It's so tight, that.
Annoying.
It's really... See, there's going to be part of you that's going to be so gutted. You've got to be proud of what you've done, but the fact that you are so close to winning the World Championships.
Yeah.
But well done.
Everything he's been through, that's fantastic.
Absolutely.
What's this? More? Yes, go on. What is this?
I'm not even sure.
Right.
I'm not even sure, but I liked it.
Right.
I believe it to be the Window Tinting World Championships.
OK. It's a new sport.
I enjoy a squeegee. Do you enjoy a squeegee?
Oh, yeah.
me
You love a
too.
squeegee there,
Yeah. Everyone likes a squeegee.
Watch the squeegee action. Look at this guy. Now, look, there we are. Look at that.
Oh,
And he's
very thorough.
See, that looks quite easy. That's just, and for those on the radio, there's a window with a man with a squeegee, and he's just squeegeeing the window. That's pretty much all we see.
He's applying a tint.
You know what? This is what I'm trying to work out. What tint? So is he putting the tint on?
He's putting the tint on with the squeegee.
But then he's squeegeeing away the tint, right?
No,
or is that just
That's how you
is
apply
that
it.
the tint excess?
He's applying more tint.
Right. So I don't know how you win. Is it when the tint is of a certain thickness?
I don't know.
But I just found it very enjoyable just
look
to
how
watch
dark the
someone
window's getting every time.
Is it getting darker?
Yeah.
Okay.
I don't think you see the tint sometimes. It's like invisible tint, and then
An
it does
invisible
work.
tint.
Invisible. I love those
But then it
invisible
does work, and then
tints.
if you were to look from the outside in, you can't see.
Oh, those invisible
Yeah,
tints.
it's like a mirrored tint almost.
That's my favourite sort of tint.
It's the thing.
So there he is.
Yes, because look how it is just turning into a mirror now, isn't it?
Yeah,
But it is a spectator sport, and people are cheering on, and I don't know whether it's style or who does the best tint or who does the best
He doesn't seem in
clean.
a particular rush, does he?
Well,
I think
he's
that's quite
thorough. That's what it
pacey.
is, Stephen. He's thorough.
Thorough.
It's pacey as well. Very good.
Yeah.
Oh, excellent.
By the way, we are going
Well
to watch
done,
this
him.
for the next hour, so I hope you're OK. You've got nothing else to talk about, have you?
No.
Look at that tinting.
Fantastic.
Wow.
Well done, that man.
That's the sport of the future.
Thanks, Coity.
Are you...
How hard?
Can we not...
We can come away from that now.
No,
Yeah.
leave it,
No.
leave it. He's not finished.
He's now giving it a casual wipe down with the
Yes.
tissue. I mean, it's not a race, this, is it? Right, there you go.
Thanks, Coity.
That was some sport I gave you there, wasn't
Wow.
it? Do you think so?
Just when you think you've seen it all.
Right, still to come, what did the royals and the president eat at their banquet last night, and which cocktail didn't go down too well? We'll find out with our paper reviewers, Tim and Charlotte, in just a moment.
But first, let's get the European weather forecast.
Ready to soak up that holiday sunshine?
Won't we need some cover?
No worries, all sorted.
All Clear Travel Insurance sponsors GB News Travel Destinations forecast.
A northerly breeze bringing a slightly cooler feel to some of the Greek islands for the next day or so. Meanwhile, in the Canaries, temperatures above average, over 30 degrees through Friday and Saturday. One or two showers over northern Spain, but most of the beaches dry, fine and sunny, and some lovely sunshine to be had across Italy. Sunny in Greece. As I said, there is a bit of a breeze blowing. Temperature will be rising in Santorini as we go through the weekend. At the same time, we'll see those temperatures dropping off a bit in Tenerife.
All Clear Travel Insurance sponsors GB News Travel Destinations forecast.
Join me, Nana Akweer, for an informative, interactive news programme with a difference. It's fun.
No, he didn't say that, Dave.
I'm so surprised.
I think there's an element of truth to that.
Join me from 3 p.m. every weekend, only on GB News, Britain's news channel.
Sunday with Michael Portillo from 11, only on GB News.
What do you think is the origin of this palace not being loved by the royal family as a place to live?
Well, you see, it's a little bit like an Edwardian hotel in Brighton. It's all long corridors and rooms off them. It's not very friendly as a place, you know. So the Queen and Prince Philip occupied the rooms along the Constitution Hill side. She had half of them and he had the other half. And if ever they came out into a corridor, you know, so it's just not very friendly. And of course, the other thing is that the gardens are now terribly overlooked by the Hilton and other big buildings, whereas the King living at Clarence House, he has a very nice garden there and it's not overlooked at all. I mean, I have seen Prince Philip's rooms because I'd worked with his office a lot and I did a book about his mother, so I was there quite often. I haven't seen the Queen's rooms, but I'd love to see them.
Yes. And at the beginning of Queen Elizabeth II's reign, the palace was not open to the public at all, was it?
No, it wasn't. And actually, she didn't want to go and live there either. She was living in Clarence House, but Churchill said that it's sovereign's residence and she had to move in. He forced her to move in. That was quite tricky because the Queen Mother and Princess Margaret were still living there at the beginning. And then they moved into Clarence House a little while later, somewhat before the coronation. The only reason that the palace was open as a public tourist attraction was to make money to pay for the fire damage of 1992 at Windsor Castle. Castle. And that was so successful that the opening has gone on ever since. And it raises money for the Royal Collection Trust in order to look after all the treasures which are held by the sovereign for the nation.
GB News, the People's Channel.
In the GB Newsroom, we bring you the news as it happens.
With our team of dedicated journalists across the UK,
we're ready to keep you up to date with what's happening every half an hour, every single day. Bulletins here on GB News,
the People's Channel,
Britain's news channel.
Britain was once the envy of the world. But look around. A nation that no longer knows what it is or where it's going. A country that's broken. How do we fix Britain? How do we bring it back? Friday night with Matt Goodwin at 8 p.m. only on GB News.
Yes. Welcome back to Breakfast. It's 6:44. We're having a look at the newspaper front pages, and the Mirror leads on the photos of the main suspect, the only suspect, in the Meline McCann case after he was released from prison in Germany.
The Mail has a picture of the Princess of Wales at Windsor Castle for that state banquet. They also headline the Home Secretary criticising migrants who she says are exploiting human rights laws.
The Guardian says the Prime Minister is banking on a new £150 billion investment in Britain announced during the state visit.
And The Sun reporting on all the details of that banquet last night.
Well, joining us to go through what's making the news this morning is former Blue Peter presenter Tim Vincent and Mail on Sunday editor-at-large Charlotte Griffiths. Morning, you two. Tim, let's start with you, shall we, and talk about Jimmy Kimmel. His late-night show has been suspended indefinitely.
It's quite a chill... It seems quite an innocent story to begin with. Yeah, US talk show host Jimmy Kimmel has had his programme pulled over offensive and insensitive comments about Charlie Kirk, which is obviously on the front of everybody's lips in America at the moment. Kimmel used his show on Monday night to accuse Trump and his allies of doing their best to fan the flames following Kirk's assassination. He was immediately taken off air, and the chilling bit is that he will be taken off air indefinitely. Now, behind the scenes, there's obviously a lot of infighting that's going on. A lot of these media companies need to be supported by Trump's administration, and people will suggest that there's a bigger picture going on here, like Game of Thrones of, actually, it's not what we're really talking about, is this, it's what's going on behind the scenes. And it's frightening that anybody is not allowed to have free speech, and Jimmy Kimmel has been a thorn in Trump's side since his first tenure. And it's like you being taken off air over here because you've expressed an opinion which a lot of people would agree with. It's not a shocking opinion.
No, it's not a shocking opinion. However, and when you look at what he actually said, I mean, to us over here, it doesn't sound particularly shocking. I just think, why didn't he just stay away from it? It's like dynamite, this topic at the moment.
Well, I think he's Jimmy Kimmel. It's like, it's a late night show in America. How could he not bring it up? It would have looked very, very strange if he hadn't brought it up.
He'd already condemned the murder, hadn't he? He'd done that. So why it's just a...
Why did he go and insult Trump, as it were?
Yeah.
But I have to say, as insults against Trump go, it isn't that bad.
No,
I mean, he's saying fanning the flames, and perhaps that was a stupid thing to do, but he could have said a lot worse.
Yeah, and it is the topic at the moment, I mean, especially in America.
Yeah. Was it Jimmy Kimmel who said something about Catherine, the Princess of Wales, having cancer? And sort of making a joke about it. I mean, he has got, obviously, form for making really scandalous comments.
But he's also not a political commentator. He's not a news host. He's somebody on a late-night show
really.
that will talk about all kinds of stuff. And if we can't allow that to happen on late-night TV, then I think we're in problems.
If he was on daytime ABC, then maybe that would be quite bad. But, yeah, the whole point of tuning in late at night to these shows in America, and the fact they've got a comedy twist, means you can push the boundaries a bit.
Well, it's one of those things, isn't it, where you either have free speech or you don't.
Yeah,
you know, the whole point of free speech, the reality is it allows people to say stuff you don't like.
Yeah, and Trump's immediately come out and said, congratulations to ABC, Kimmel has zero talent. You know, it's being very personalised about it. I think everybody's allowed to be offended, but you should be allowed to be able to be offended on both sides of the page.
Yeah.
So hopefully he will be back on air soon, because it affects everybody when free speech is not allowed.
Yeah. Charlotte, let's have a look at the state revisit, shall we? And didn't the Princess of Wales look stunning last night?
I know. Like, Sarah was on the show earlier, and she's echoing what we've all been saying in royal world, which is this is for sure the most beautiful she's ever looked in public. I mean, possibly other than her wedding day. But interestingly, she was wearing a wedding dress, or a dress by a wedding designer.
Oh, was she?
A really little-known designer in Chelsea. You know, it's like a local kind of shop near, you know, in Chelsea, actually. It's surprising that she didn't go for Givenchy or some major label. And she just looked incredible.
Yeah.
It was a real showstopper.
Trump thought she was incressible as well.
Trump said she was beautiful.
Beautiful, he was almost flirting.
Watch out, Melania. She must start.
I wouldn't worry. I wouldn't worry. Mind you, was there some confusion over some sort of cocktail or something that didn't go down so well?
Well, I was reading the cocktail. The cocktail was impossible to drink, from what I could tell, because it had so many things floating in it. It had a toasted marshmallow, a star biscuit, a pecan foam, marmalade, and Johnny Walker Black. Now, the problem is Trump doesn't drink, so I don't think he could have this special cocktail. But what they do in these royal events is they try to use the menu to do as many little nods to their guests as possible. Actually, the menu was in French, which really confused me. I thought we were back to the French state banquet.
The language of diplomacy.
It's quite
menu.
interesting. This is a charm offensive for Trump, 100%. Everybody is doing the best that you guys have been there at the Windsor Castle to see what's going on. But it's interesting. I've worked with Trump over the years at NBC. His dietary requirements are very limited. And if you ever look at pictures of Trump on Air Force One, he will usually be eating
McDonald's,
but not only will he be eating McDonald's, all the other people will also be eating McDonald's. He just orders for everybody and they all have something very plain and cheeseburgers, and that is it. So I'm sure there'd been a charm offensive. Behind the scenes, they would have been working at what would he have eaten and what he wouldn't have eaten as well, right down to those details. Because we can do pomp and ceremony better than anywhere in the world, and this will have been orchestrated within an inch of its life. Fascinating.
It is fascinating.
I heard that they were actually quite surprised because they were expecting dietary requirements to come in from him, but they didn't. They didn't hear anything.
Really?
So I think it was quite a plain, relatively plain menu. It's basically chicken and a panna cotta.
Didn't know what he was getting.
Yeah, I'd love to know whether he cleared his plate or not.
I'd want to know that. I found it interesting, though, with King Charles talking about we can go even further when it comes to our special relationship. I mean, do you think he's talking about a trade deal there or bettering the trade deal?
Yeah, he must have been hinting at that. But, of course, poor Charles, it must be very frustrating, but you can't say anything you actually want to say at these things. So he just has to say further and more, and, you know, the special relationship is so treasured and all this kind of language.
He did squeeze a line in about the environment, which I thought was quite clever, because he's obviously at the forefront of protecting and being the green champion that he successfully does. And he said that there is an opportunity for us to leave the next generation in a better position, which I thought was very good, since Trump has thrown the Paris Climate Agreement out the window.
Drill, baby, drill.
Yeah.
Trump has sort of come close to almost complaining in the past, in 2019, that all Charles does is talk to him about the environment. They had a meeting a few years ago. It was supposed to last 15 minutes, and it went on for an hour and a half. And Trump said something along the lines of afterwards, he talked a lot about the environment, and looked a bit shell-shocked, you know. Why not? You know, that's what he cares about.
Talking of things like the environment in our homes, Tim, in the mirror as we head towards the colder weather.
Yes.
Loads of us won't be putting the heating on, apparently.
Yeah. What do you wear in bed at night, Stephen?
My birthday suit.
Well, then obviously you have very good heating, because a lot of people this year, 22% apparently, are not going to turn the heating on this year. That's about 2 million people will not be putting on because they're worried about the costs and the prices. When I go and stay at my mother, who's in Wrexham, 200 miles away, it's like The Sixth Sense, the film. There is ice and there's breath, and she sleeps perfectly well. And I have friends who have windows open in the winter as well, in their bedrooms, whereas I like to have a big duvet and you know, something wrapping up.
A big duvet. I tell you what I've started, ever since the prices went totally mad, I don't put the heating on per se, but I can put it on for a boost for an hour.
Ooh. That's
and so just put it on for a boost. When it gets really cold, I'll put it on for a boost. And that actually works quite well.
I don't have a boost, but what I've done, I think we're all changing our habits. What I do now is just heat the room that I'm in. So I'd heat the lounge and then maybe go put the heating or the radiator on in the bedroom, and that would be it.
I put in my Heated blanket. Do you have one of those? Like,
that's a great idea.
I've just got a heated blanket. It's so nice.
It's a game changer.
It has changed my habits. You're so right, but it's a game changer.
And also,
I love it.
I got for Christmas last year a heated throw for the sofa, which is an absolute game changer.
Oh, okay.
You plug it in, and then when you're watching a film, you're all toasty.
And money saving.
And money saving.
They are meant to be very, very cheap to run, aren't they?
And Christmas is around. We know what we're going to get each other.
Yeah. Heated blankets and heated throws.
GB News blankets. It's a branding idea.
It is not a bad branding idea, to be fair.
GB News throws, yes. You can watch GB News under your heated throw.
Right.
Great idea.
Yeah. I'm always worried about the ones that you put in your bed in case you electrocute yourself. I don't know.
Oh, don't worry.
Only if you wet
Probably
yourself.
safe. Only if you wet yourself. All right. That's my concern, Tim. Right, you two. We'll see you later on. Thank you.
Let's get a check on the weather now with Alex Deacon.
Today, clouds overhead. Total zen within. Boxed Solar sponsors the weather on GB News.
Morning. Welcome along to your latest weather update from the Met Office here on GB News. Warm conditions for some today, pretty wet conditions for others. Been a very windy night across northern Scotland. The wind's easing here a little bit, but still plenty of showers packing in over the Highlands. Quite a damp start again for Wales, and the rain's going to get heavier through the day over northwest England, parts of Northern Ireland. Quite a bit of cloud this morning over central and southern parts of England, but that cloud should break up. Much of the east will stay dry and bright, and with some sunshine here, 23, 24, maybe even 25 Celsius. Cooler further west, should be turning drier and brighter across Wales by this afternoon, but getting quite breezy as the rain continues to come into Northern Ireland later today, and it will pep up in southwest Scotland as well. Those gusty winds, as I said, steadily easing over northern Scotland, but still quite breezy here. The showers should ease too. We'll see some sunshine over eastern Scotland. After a largely dry, bright day, we'll see the central belt turning damp for this evening. Some heavy rain likely over parts of northwest England, and North Wales seeing the odd shower, but generally turning drier over Wales and staying fine for much of the day over the Midlands, southern and eastern England. Just a bit breezy here. Through the night, that zone of wetter weather will continue, so further heavy rain possible over northwest England, North Wales and southwest Scotland, especially the brighter colours there. Need to watch that because the rain building up over the next 24 hours or so. Another pretty mild night in the south. Temperatures, well, they won't stay in the mid-teens in towns and cities. On to Friday, and again, big contrasts. Warm with some hazy autumn sunshine over eastern England, staying pretty wet for parts of northwest England, north and west Wales. Something a bit brighter for much of Scotland, Northern Ireland, some good spells of sunshine here, and temperatures here getting into the high teens, but mid-20s likely over parts of eastern England, maybe even as high as 26 Celsius across the southeast tomorrow.
Today, clouds overhead. Total zen within. Boxed Solar sponsors the weather on GB News.
Crash Law 24 sponsors GB News Traffic and Travel Report.
Good morning. This is the latest AI travel news from gbnews.com. The A9 Dornoch Bridge remains closed to high-sided vehicles due to strong winds, impacting driving conditions. On the A12 northbound between Junction 15 and Junction 16, there has been a road traffic collision, leading to all lanes being closed. Normal traffic conditions are anticipated to resume late this morning. Please plan your travel accordingly. On the trains, Northern buses are replacing train services between Corkickle and Whitehaven. Meanwhile, South Western Railway services are unavailable at Swanwick, affecting passengers in these areas. For more travel news, go to gbnews.com.
Crash Law 24 sponsors GB News Traffic and Travel Report.
It's our biggest Great British giveaway to date. You could be driving away with this brand new Benamar Primera motorhome. This 4-berth home from home comes complete with integrated kitchen and bathroom areas and has all of the tech you'd expect from the latest 2025 model. We'll also give you an incredible £30,000 in tax-free cash to make sure that any adventures you take in your new motorhome are taken in style. For a chance to win, text WIN to 63225. One entry costs £2.50 plus one standard network rate message, or text BONUS to 63225. 5 entries cost £5 plus 1 standard network rate message. Go to gbnews.com/win. Entries start at £2.50. Call 0903 686 3232. Calls cost £2.50 plus your network access charge. Or post your name and number to GB16 PO Box 8690 Derby DE1 9TT. UK only. Entrance must be 18 or over. Lines close at 4 p.m. on the 31st of October. Please check the closing time if listening or watching on demand.
At GB News, we love to hear from you, our loyal community. So drop us a line at gbnews.com/yoursay. There you can talk to each other and also to the presenters live on air. gbnews.com/yoursay, because GB News is your channel, Britain's news channel.
Join me, Nana Akweer, for an informative, interactive news programme with a difference. It's fun.
No, he didn't say that, though.
I'm so surprised.
I think there's an element of truth to that.
Join me from 3 p.m. every weekend, only on GB News, Britain's news channel.
In the GB Newsroom, we bring you the news as it happens.
With our team of dedicated journalists across the UK,
we're ready to keep you up to date with what's happening every half an hour, every single day. Bulletins here on GB News,
the People's Channel,
Britain's news channel.
Good morning. A state visit second to none.
The royal family woo President Donald Trump as King Charles praises the special relationship between the UK and the US.
Mr. President, from York to New York, from Birmingham, England to Birmingham, Alabama, we are united by a common language and shared heritage.
Well, President Trump is waking up in Windsor Castle behind me this morning, but has he been wooed by the King's pomp and pageantry and hospitality ahead of tough trade talks at Chequers?
Well, the President prepares to head to Chequers this morning to meet the Prime Minister.
But could a press conference held by the two world leaders cause an embattled Sir Keir Starmer further issues?
Yes, from pomp to politics, the royals have done everything they can to put the president in the best of moods. But will it help us on trade? And could things come unstuck with a particularly difficult press conference looming?
The Home Secretary accuses migrants of mocking British laws as she vows to appeal blocks on deporting migrants to France.
Breaking news overnight, the US late-night host Jimmy Kimmel's programme is pulled from the airwaves indefinitely.
Is it time to bring back stricter dress codes? Well, we're going to debate that this morning after this picture emerged of a mayor wearing a Hawaiian shirt to a military event. It's very odd. We'll debate that in the next hour.
Very odd at any event, if you ask me. Liverpool get their customary injury time winner to beat Atletico Madrid in the Champions League as Chelsea lose in Germany. The trash talk has begun between Chris Eubank Jr. and Conor Benn ahead of their rematch. And in Tokyo, Jake Whiteman just misses out on gold, or should I say, Jake Whiteman wins silver in the World Athletics Championships.
Big contrasts across the UK today. A very wet day for some, a warm day for others, and temperatures likely to rise in the southeast for tomorrow, maybe up to 26 degrees Celsius. Find out all the details with me coming up shortly.
Just gone 7 o'clock. I'm Stephen Dixon.
I'm Ellie Costello, and this is GB News Breakfast.
I feel like I've been on a roller coaster of a week this week.
Oh, really?
And I've had a lot of messages from people saying, have you left GB News? You're never on at the minute.
I know, people are very concerned.
I haven't actually... I've got a lot of leave to use up because I didn't really do anything in the first half of the year. So I'm actually off again in a couple of weeks, I hate to tell you.
Again?
Yeah.
He's having a lovely time, this one.
Holiday.
Wow.
Last weekend, I was away at a family wedding. My cousin Heather was getting married.
Oh, she looked beautiful.
Oh, it was lovely. It was so lovely. And it was in Wales, North Wales, and I don't get to Wales very often. I'll tell you what a beautiful part of the country.
Gorgeous,
Absolutely beautiful. So if you live anywhere around sort of Conway, stunning around there.
Nice people as well, friendly.
Yeah, it was just a really... You know, it's just when you have those just family times, all the family getting together, and it's just really nice.
Aww.
I love all of that sort of thing. I'm a family man. I love it
I'm glad you had fun, but we did miss you.
Yeah.
The GB News family missed you.
Yeah, well,
had so many messages saying, where's Stephen? Has he left?
I had a lovely message from one lady saying, have you now left GB? It's like, no, I haven't left. Just on
But he is
holiday.
going again.
But I'm going again.
So be prepared.
Yeah. But, you know, I've got to use it. It's use it or lose it with leave, isn't it?
Is that what
Yeah, I've been burned by that before.
So I'm not going to... So I'm going to use it.
Good for you.
There you go.
You deserve it.
Right. Anyway, Donald Trump, is he? I mean, he's had a bit of a holiday, hasn't he?
Well, he's having a wonderful time. He's delighted to be here.
Yeah. I mean, and last night with that banquet, which was, you know, I mean, it's the stuff of dreams, isn't it, going to a banquet like that at Windsor Castle? And to be fair, the President did say it was one of the highlights of his life.
Yes, the President said it was a privilege to be the first American president treated to a second state visit as the first day of his unprecedented trip drew to a close.
Well, the King used his speech to reflect on the enduring relationship between our two nations, and he referenced support for Ukraine.
Our countries have the closest defence, security and intelligence relationship ever known. In 2 world wars, we fought together to defeat the forces of tyranny. Today, as tyranny once again threatens Europe, we and our allies stand together in support of Ukraine to deter aggression and secure peace.
Well, let's speak now to GB News' royal correspondent live from Windsor. Good morning to you, Cameron. You've had a very busy 24 hours or so. What's your assessment of how yesterday went? Because it looks to have been a huge success.
Well, do you know what, Ellie? I got to spend time with President Trump inside St George's Chapel behind me, where he views the late Queen's grave and paid his respects and listened to the choir. And obviously we're seeing all of the footage and commentating on it for GB News when he was inspecting the Guard of Honour, and obviously the fly past with the magnificent RAF Red Arrows and all the rest of it. And I don't think President Trump could hide his grin. He looked unbelievably happy to be there, genuinely interested in St George's Chapel, clearly in awe of the spectacle that is Windsor Castle, the first time he's ever been given a carriage ride, the stuff of fairy tales, the things that you don't really do if you're a citizen of the United States of America, or indeed in Britain mainly. It's usually just reserved for the royal family. But it was the King giving President Trump this honour. And it is the morning after the night before. President Trump is waking up in the castle behind me because, of course, the state banquet was the highlight of the evening for President Trump. The table, the length of a table, I'm told, is the size of 2.7 Marine One helicopters if they were laid end to end. So that's the size of a helicopter, about 47 odd metres in St George's Hall. You're just seeing pictures on your screen for those of you watching on TV. Have a look on our socials if you're listening on the radio, because a lot of these guests looked radiant, particularly the Princess of Wales, wearing a British-designed golden gown and Princess Diana's lover's knot tiara. And on social media, she is getting a lot of praise. And speaking of praise, during President Trump's speech, he praised the King, of course, saying he was a very, very special man, but also his wonderful son, the Prince of Wales. I think there is a genuine connection there between President Trump and the future King and Queen, the Prince and Princess of Wales. And I understand, actually, that they had a private meeting, just the four of them, the President, the First Lady, William and Catherine, inside the castle, just the four of them, inside the castle, following the viewing of the Royal Collection items. So to be a fly on the wall for that conversation. But of course, the pomp and pageantry is now over, and it's now time to see if all of the King's buttering up, all of the King's soft power is going to perhaps persuade President Trump to cut Britain some slack during tough political negotiations.
Indeed. Cameron, thank you. Well, let's get more on that with Catherine Forster, who is at Chequers, where the next part of all this is going to take place. I mean, and there is a lot on the Prime Minister's plate with this, isn't there? He does need to make some headway.
Yes, he really does, because we were promised 4 months ago when the trade deal was unveiled that we would have zero tariffs on steel and aluminium. They are still at 25%. We were expecting them to be gone, but it sounds like it's not happening. So the government are keen to trumpet this £150 billion investment by US companies coming into the UK in the coming years. They're delighted about that, but yes, they will be wanting to make more headway on trade. The president, before he got on the plane over here, said that I'm into helping them. Well, let's see. Certainly the royals couldn't have done any more. Donald Trump was clearly absolutely delighted, beaming from ear to ear in those photographs with the King and the Queen and the First Lady. So we will see. He arrives here mid-morning at Chequers, the Prime Minister's country house retreat. He will be given a tour of the Sir Winston Churchill archives. We know he's incredibly attached to that Winston Churchill bust in the Oval Office. Then there will be talks with US investors in the room too. And then, of course, there will be the press conference. Now, besides trade, they'll be talking, of course, about Ukraine, about Gaza, potentially tricky issues, but I think the press conference is an absolute minefield. You never know what Donald Trump is going to say next. He likes to talk at length. He is very aware of what makes great television. And there are a couple of very tricky issues, not just Ukraine, but free speech, if it's raised, as it might be. And also, of course, Jeffrey Epstein, the one topic that no one, the President, the Prime Minister and the royal family, want to talk about. Just to say too, we will have a special snap analysis of the state visit on our GB News newsletter. To get it, just scan the QR code on your screen or go to gbnews.com/news-newsletter.
Catherine, there for us in Chequers. Thank you very much. Well, let's speak to the Lib Dems now, shall we? And the environment spokesperson for the Liberal Democrats and MP, Tim Farron. Good to see you this morning, Mr. Farron. We're talking about the state visit, this unprecedented state visit, of course, the state banquet last night, loads of influential and powerful people there. One person who wasn't in attendance, who actually rejected this invitation, was, of course, Ed Davey, Sir Ed Davey. Do you support his decision to reject his invitation?
I do. I'll tell you why, if you like. I mean, I'm somebody like Ed who absolutely supports the state of Israel's right to exist and to defend itself. Somebody who thinks that the hostages taken by Hamas should be released like yesterday, and feel that we need to reach a conclusion to this awful tragedy. But I also believe the Netanyahu administration is behaving outrageously, shooting and starving innocent children. And we all know the way world politics works. The one man on planet Earth who could pick up the phone and stop all that is Donald Trump, and he refuses to do so. And so what does Ed Davey do? He chooses to use the voice that he has in order to make this stand. He does it cautiously, he does it thoughtfully, he did it prayerfully, not wanting to snub His Majesty, recognise the importance of the occasion. But now and again, you have to recognise that you are potentially the voice for millions of people in this country, including, I'm sure, many of your viewers, who feel powerless in the face of the outrage and the tragedy in Gaza, and wants somebody to speak up. Ed has chosen to be that voice, and I think he has done the right thing.
All right, I mean, fair enough. By making the stand, as he has, we're talking about it, and that's fair enough. But in a press release put out by him today, he says, if the Prime Minister lets this state visit end without making that point about ending this conflict to Trump as forcefully as he can, it will be a terrible moral failure. I mean, there is no doubt, is there, that behind closed doors, this is going to be raised?
Good question. You asked that question, I might ask that question. None of us know. I mean, Ed rather self-deprecatingly said he's quite sure Donald Trump has never heard of him. But I am sure that Keir Starmer has heard of him. And so there's two things going on here, isn't there? First of all, there is that using the voice that Ed has on behalf of the British people and the massive millions of people in this country, the majority, I would suggest, including those like me who support in principle the state of Israel and want the Israeli people to be defended, but also think that Netanyahu is behaving utterly, utterly monstrously. He's used that voice to project towards Trump, but he's also putting pressure on Keir Starmer to do exactly that. We don't know what's going to go on behind closed doors. We know that Keir Starmer has been, maybe understandably, very keen to kind of ingratiate himself in with the president. I wonder sometimes whether he pulls his punches sometimes. And Ed Davey's decision not to pull his maybe strengthens Keir Starmer's arm too.
There have been some positive takeaways, though, from this state visit. I'm sure you'll agree. I mean, we had the announcement, didn't we, of £150 billion worth of US investment. That's the most amount of money attached to a state visit ever, we're being told. Also, 7,500 high-quality jobs for Britain. I mean, these are huge successes to take away from this visit.
They could be. I mean, I'm a very strong supporter of keeping open, strong and healthy democratic ties with the United States. I think a correct assessment of the current state of play is that America absolutely remains an ally of ours, but a rather unpredictable one and maybe unreliable one in the hands of its current leadership. But nevertheless, we should be grown-ups and do business with them. I'm a very strong supporter of free trade and want to see a fair deal with the United States. What I'm worried about, what we're not hearing, is anything about the situation regarding the deal that could affect our farmers. We know that there are people from the United States administration in the country at this moment as part of this delegation seeking to negotiate a deal which would affect farming. And our concern there is that, as was the case with the last government, with New Zealand and Australia, our government, in order to get some headline successes, might throw British farmers under the bus, allowing imports of lower quality, lower animal welfare standards, lower environmental standards to damage British farming standards and British farmers even more than they have been already. So I'm concerned about what's not being said about as well as what is being.
Can I just ask you, before we let you go, about the migrant issue and the fact that the Home Secretary seems pretty annoyed about what she's called the sort of vexatious use of human rights laws to at the moment, stop the one-in, one-out deal with France. I mean, what's the Lib Dem position on that? I mean, do you think we do need to be a bit more robust in being able to enforce what we've already now got in place, even if a lot of people aren't mad keen on that policy?
Yeah, there's a couple of things really here, and it's a good question. I mean, thing one, the best way to deter people coming here through irregular routes, through the boats and what have you, which is a tragedy that people are doing that, orchestrated by evil gangs or seriously dangerous organised crime on the continent and indeed in the United Kingdom, is to make sure we have a really competent and effective system for assessing people when we're here, which the last government didn't have, and this government doesn't have yet. In other words, if you're a genuine refugee, absolutely, let you pay taxes and be part of our society. And if you're not, humanely and quickly return you. So then it comes on to the issue of human rights. I think, first of all, I do see the Home Secretary's point. I also think we should be really careful. Those of us who believe in free speech and British values should remember that human rights legislation rarely affects 99% of us because our rights are not at risk. And we should be really careful about not throwing the baby out with the bathwater and wanting to get rid of human rights legislation, because you never know when it might be you. And then we'd wish we did have those rights.
OK. Tim Farron, it's good to talk to you this morning. Are you in your constituency at the minute?
I am in not quite sunny Westmoreland, yes.
Lovely. Well, I know it's very beautiful around there, so I hope the weather holds off here. It's meant to get a bit warmer today, so keep your fingers crossed. Good to see you.
We're used to the liquid sunshine, it's all part of the deal.
Don't I know it. Tim Farron, thank you.
Thank you.
He does live in a very nice little village.
Oh, does he?
Yeah, it's a lovely part of the world. Well, it's my part of the world, so it's very nice around there.
Oh, that's nice.
I know. Makes me want to go home again.
Oh, well, you're,
I know, I've just
you're
come
here
back.
with me,
I've just
sorry.
Come back. I wouldn't want to be anywhere else.
Thanks. Well, let's have a look at some other stories coming into the newsroom this morning, shall we? Because the US talk show host Jimmy Kimmel's late-night programme has been suspended indefinitely following comments that he made about the shooting of Charlie Kirk. Well, a spokesperson for the Disney-owned network ABC said that the programme will be off the airwaves indefinitely. President Donald Trump was quick to comment, taking to Truth Social to congratulate ABC and writing that Kimmel has zero talent. Kimmel is yet to publicly comment.
A group of severely ill children have landed in the UK from Gaza for urgent medical treatment. They're the first to arrive as part of a government-run scheme. More children are expected in the coming weeks.
Legislation to abolish Scotland's not proven verdict has been passed at Holyrood. The scrapping of the third verdict, which dates back to the 17th century, is part of a number of measures aimed at reforming Scotland's justice system. It has the same effect as being found not guilty. The accused is acquitted and is innocent in the eyes of the law.
Right. As we've been talking about the weather up in the northwest and in Wales last weekend, let's have a full tour of the country and see what it's going to do with Alex.
Expect warm spells with the odd rude interruption. Boxed Boilers sponsors the weather on GB News.
Morning. Welcome along to your latest weather update from the Met Office here on GB News. Warm conditions for some today, pretty wet conditions for others. Been a very windy night across northern Scotland. The wind's easing here a little bit, but still plenty of showers packing in over the Highlands. Quite a damp start again for Wales, and the rain's going to get heavier through the day over northwest England, parts of Northern Ireland. Quite a bit of cloud this morning over central and southern parts of England, but that cloud should break up. Much of the east will stay dry and bright, and with some sunshine here, 23, 24, maybe even 25 Celsius. Cooler further west, should be turning drier and brighter across Wales by this afternoon, but getting quite breezy as the rain continues to come into Northern Ireland later today, and it will pep up in southwest Scotland as well. Those gusty winds, as I said, steadily easing over northern Scotland, but still quite breezy here. The showers should ease too. We'll see some sunshine over eastern Scotland. After a largely dry, bright day, we'll see the central belt turning damp for this evening. Some heavy rain likely over parts of northwest England, and North Wales seeing the odd shower, but generally turning drier over Wales and staying fine for much of the day over the Midlands, southern and eastern England. Just a bit breezy here. Through the night, that zone of wetter weather will continue, so further heavy rain possible over northwest England, North Wales and southwest Scotland, especially the brighter colours there. Need to watch that because the rain building up over the next 24 hours or so. Another pretty mild night in the south. Temperatures, well, may well stay in the mid-teens in towns and cities. On to Friday, and again, big contrasts. Warm with some hazy autumn sunshine over eastern England, staying pretty wet for parts of northwest England, north and west Wales. Something a bit brighter for much of Scotland, Northern Ireland, some good spells of sunshine here, and temperatures here getting into the high teens, but mid-20s likely over parts of eastern England, maybe even as high as 26 Celsius across the southeast tomorrow.
Expect warm spells with the odd rude interruption. Boxed Boilers sponsors the weather on GB News.
Now it's time for the Great British Giveaway now, and it's your chance to be our biggest winner to date. Here are all the details that you need.
This is your chance to win a motorhome and cash in our biggest prize giveaway to date. Courtesy of Marquis Leisure, you could be the proud owner of this 2025 Benamar Primero. It comfortably accommodates 4 people, comes with integrated bathroom and kitchen areas, has plenty of storage and can be driven on your standard driving licence. Plus, you'll also bank an incredible £30,000 in tax-free cash to spend on anything you like. Make sure you don't miss out.
For another chance to win, text WIN to 63225. One entry costs £2.50 plus one standard network rate message. Or text BONUS to 63225. 5 entries cost £5 plus one standard network rate message. Go to gbnews.com/win. Entries start at £2.50. Call 0903 686 3232. Calls cost £2.50 plus your network access charge. Or post your name and number to GB16 PO Box 8690 Derby DE1 9TT. UK only. Entrance must be 18 or over. Lines close at 4 p.m. on the 31st of October. The winner will be contacted live on GB News, week commencing 10th of November. Please check the closing time if listening or watching on demand. Good luck.
Yeah, best of luck. Now, this one will get you talking. The Mayor of Henley has been criticised for wearing a Hawaiian shirt at a military event. So, do we need to enforce dress codes? We'll debate that next.
Decisions made in Washington aren't just shaping America, they're shaping Britain too.
From migration to global security, from crime to health. Whatever happens in the White House today
will be felt in your town or city tomorrow.
That's why The Late Show is live from Washington, D.C.
Cutting through the politics to show you what it all means for Britain.
The Late Show Live starts Monday night at midnight.
Only on GB News,
Britain's news channel.
Westminster's full of talk, but out here, it's the real world.
Am I allowed to talk now?
No, that's it. This is where it matters, real people and real lives. That's what politics is all about.
The fact that Trump made a good start, no.
Straight answers, no spin, and just a couple of pints.
How many fingers have I got up?
About 10. So join me for Lee Anderson's Real World every Friday at 7 p.m. only on GB News. The People's Channel, Britain's news channel.
You want to know what's really going on in the corridors of power?
Labour don't know what to do with you half the time, and that makes you quite lethal in the chamber.
Get behind the headlines with Chopper's political podcast. Join me, Christopher Hope, as I sit down with the great and the good of British politics.
We'll see where this ruling takes us.
These are the stories shaping our nation. Chopper's political podcast, available now on all platforms. Listen in and stay ahead.
It's Patrick Christie's Tonight, and here we do things differently.
It's explaining the absolute madness of this, doesn't it?
It's explosive.
I mean, this is very good.
It's lively.
850. Your government sat there short and it did nothing.
It's controversial.
And the Middle East has been in turmoil since before I was born.
It's everything you need to kickstart your evening.
Everyone's had their Weetabix tonight. I love to see it.
That's Patrick Christie's Tonight, weeknights from 9 p.m. Only on GB News, the People's Channel, Britain's news channel.
At GB News, we love to hear from you, our loyal community. So drop us a line at gbnews.com/yoursay. There you can talk to each other and also to the presenters live on air. gbnews.com/yoursay, because GB News is your channel, Britain's news channel.
Join me, Nana Akweer, for an informative, interactive news programme with a difference. It's fun.
No, he didn't say that, Dave.
I'm so surprised.
I think there's an element of truth to that.
Join me from 3 p.m. every weekend, only on GB News, Britain's news channel.
In the GB Newsroom, we bring you the news as it happens.
With our team of dedicated journalists across the UK.
We're ready to keep you up to date with what's happening every half an hour, every single day. Bulletins here on GB News,
the People's Channel,
Britain's news channel.
It's 7:25 now. The Mayor of Henley is making headlines for all the wrong reasons in the outfit he wore to a cadet military event.
Yes, take a look for yourself, because Tom Buckley's casual attire has been widely criticised online, and he's responded to some saying, well, there are way more important issues than his Hawaiian shirt.
So we're asking, is it time to bring back and enforce dress codes, or should we just be more relaxed about it all?
Well, we're joined now by etiquette expert Liz Brewer and celebrity chef Jameson Stocks. Morning, you two. Jameson, let's start with you, shall we? I like both your outfits this morning, I must say. You both pulled out all the stops.
Morning.
Do we need to put a stop to dress codes, or do we need to enforce them more rigorously?
I think you should let people live the way they want to live. If they want to wear something, let them wear it. It's an expression of themselves. It's a way, you know, of putting their personality out there without actually speaking to anyone. So for me, I think it's a bit silly, really.
But there are times, aren't there, when it's not about your... I mean, in this scenario, for example, you would say it's not about the mayor's personality, it's about the cadets, isn't it?
Well, listen, you know, we don't want everyone in grey suits and navy suits all the time, you know. It's just showing his... it's just showing his personality. I don't think he's, you know, he's not harmed anyone. He's just being himself.
Liz,
what do you think?
What a load of rubbish.
Oh.
You know, this is the Mayor of Henley, you know, and he sets an example which many people in that sort of position do. This is not just social behaviour and etiquette. This is to do with protocol. He is the mayor of Henley. He's representing that town. And it is disrespectful, as you've already pointed out, to those cadets who looked so wonderful in their uniform. And that's echoed throughout. So you go into town halls, you go into Parliament, you go into state occasions. There is a protocol, there is a way of dressing. Britain is famous for that. That's why people like Trump love this country. We have traditions. We have a code of behaviour. You know, Chef James, he's wearing a very colourful outfit. Fabulous, wonderful. And show business, fantastic. They want to dress up, they want to be seen, they want to get the publicity, great. But when you, in life in general, you want respect. You dress for the occasion. And with dress codes, it makes life a lot easier. If you're giving a party, a celebration, a wedding, a 21st, whatever, you have dress, and it guides people. Otherwise, you're going to have 10 people, 100 people, 200 people ringing up or contacting you saying, what do I wear?
Yeah.
You know, what is a sort of dress, smart, casual? What is... So it helps. It's a helpful tool to have a dress code.
I mean, there's a fair point with that, James, isn't there? I mean, when you're working, presumably you wear a chef's
uniform,
outfit,
yeah.
do you?
Chef's white.
I understand that, but also...
And a cap on your head.
And in this respect, the mayor was working.
But on the other hand, he does look, you know, he's not... He's quite smart, you know. He's not, you know, I like to see him...
In a Hawaiian shirt and shorts?
I won't say it's an Hawaiian shirt, but on the other hand...
And shorts?
But a very flowery shirt and shorts.
But he's just showing his personality, you know. I can understand...
We've all got a personality.
I can understand that you want to be kind of dressed in suits and stuff, and he should be representing Henley, and he should be doing this, he should be doing that, but there's no rules.
It's not a question of should be, he is.
No.
And as the mayor of Henley, it's a responsible position, and he is setting an example. And the people of Henley have complained. You know, he's been elected. When he was elected, he wasn't wearing a Hawaiian shirt and shorts. And the guy's intelligent. He knows what he's doing. So maybe it was a lapse of judgment, I don't know, or somebody advising him badly, but it was a mistake for this country to have a mayor not dressing appropriately.
What about the British tradition angle of it, though, that Liz was mentioning? I mean, like the horse racing and things like that. I mean, people need to dress a certain way, don't they, for the occasion?
But even if you go to the horse racing now, people are still showing their personalities. You know, still people are wearing colour.
You can do that in keeping with the dress code.
Of course, yeah, I understand that.
I think you're referring to Ascot. Ascot has a code. You can't get into the royal enclosure unless you adhere to the dress code. However, if you're a serviceman, if it's a religious thing, you're allowed to dress.
Maybe we're too uptight, Liz. Maybe Jameson is right, and we should just have this, you know, a freedom.
We're not too uptight.
Why shouldn't people wear what they want?
But that's why people come to this country. We have a standard. We have a standard of dressing. People love the traditions, the protocol. That's why we have the President of the United States at the moment loving our country. And look, you know, he had the white tie and tails. Must be very uncomfortable for him, but he did. He adhered to the dress code. And I applaud that. I'm proud to be British, and I love the fact we have these
I'm proud to be British as well, but you can still wear what you want to wear. I mean,
no, you can't wear what you want to wear.
Hold on a minute.
Have dress codes.
Hold on a minute, Liz. Maybe that needs.
Listen, there is dress codes. I understand people have to wear. You know, I go to Goodwood quite often. You know, you do have protocols. You go to the Ritz Hotel, you can't wear trainers. You know, you do have to adhere to certain rules and stuff. But on the other hand, if he wants to wear a shirt, that's up to him.
Yeah.
That's his choice. I mean, I'm not the mayor of Henley. It's not what I would personally wear. But on the other hand, you know, if he wants to wear that, that's up to him.
Well, let's see what happens. How long he'll
I agree. You know, listen, he might lose, you know, whatever happens, but...
Yeah, but it shouldn't happen. James, you know, you're proud of this country. You've grown up in this country. And you need to appreciate what our country stands for and the fact that we've been admired. in the whole world until today. That's why people love coming to this country. They love our traditions.
I don't think he's going to ruin the whole kind of feel of Britain and stuff. I mean,
But it's got enough publicity, and the trouble is, in today's world, that publicity, not just in the newspapers, but in the media and online and in social media, that unfortunately gives a bad impression to our country.
Whoever's advised them has advised them wrong, but...
I know, that's what I'm saying.
All right, we are out of time. Good to see you both this morning. Thank you very much indeed.
Now, do stay with us. Still to come, Donald Trump is waving goodbye to Windsor and hello to Chequers for the day. Find out what's top of the agenda later on.
First, though, Liverpool's 11th hour goal saved them against Atletico Madrid. We'll bring you more on that with Paul in a moment.
Crash Law 24 sponsors GB News Traffic and Travel Report.
Good morning. This is the latest AI travel news from gbnews.com. The A92 has restrictions in both directions, including a closure for double-decker buses and a reduced speed limit of 30 miles per hour. In West Yorkshire, the M62 westbound at junction 26 is affected by a collision, closing 2 lanes and causing significant delays. In Essex, the A12 northbound between junctions 15 and 16 is closed due to a road incident, with traffic expected to clear by 12:30. And on the trains, Great Western Railway has no services between Exeter Central and Exmouth, while buses replace Northern Line trains between Corkickle and Whitehaven. For more travel news, go to gbnews.com.
Crash Law 24 sponsors GB News Traffic and Travel Report.
Westminster, the ultimate clique. And you're fighting like rats in a sack. But here on the Camilla Tominey Show, we ask the questions the establishment media is too scared to ask. OK, let me ask you a straight question, because I know you're a straight-talking politician. Whether it's net zero, illegal immigration or law and order, nothing is off-limits.
You had the power then.
Yeah, as I
and
say,
now you've lost it.
That's the Camilla Tominey Show, a politics show that's fearless.
But no, let me finish my question if you don't mind, because it is my show.
Sundays at 9:30, only on GB News, the People's Channel, Britain's news channel.
Westminster's full of talk, but out here, it's the real world.
Am I allowed to talk now?
No, that's it. This is where it matters, real people and real lives. That's what politics is all about.
The fact that Trump made a good start, no.
Straight answers, no spin, and just a couple of pints.
How many fingers have I got up?
About 10. So join me for Lee Anderson's Real World every Friday at 7 p.m. only on GB News. The People's Channel, Britain's news channel.
You want to know what's really going on in the corridors of power? Labour don't know what to do with you half the time, and that makes you quite lethal in the chamber. Get behind the headlines with Chopper's political podcast. Join me, Christopher Hope, as I sit down with the great and the good of British politics. We'll see where this ruling takes us. These are the stories shaping our nation. Chopper's political podcast, available now on all platforms. Listen in and stay ahead.
Join me, Nana Akweer, for an informative, interactive news programme with a difference. It's fun.
No, he didn't say that, Dave.
I'm so surprised.
I think there's an element of truth to that.
Join me from 3 p.m. every weekend, only on GB News, Britain's news channel.
Decisions made in Washington aren't just shaping America, they're shaping Britain too. From migration to global security, from crime to health. Whatever happens in the White House today
will be felt in your town or city tomorrow.
That's why The Late Show is live from Washington, D.C.
Cutting through the politics to show you what it all means for Britain.
The Late Show Live starts Monday night at midnight.
Only on GB News,
Britain's news channel.
It's sports time. Paul Coates here with us. Morning.
Good morning.
Liverpool. Good
Champions League.
Yeah.
Very good.
But, I mean, honestly, talk about leaving it to the last minute.
Again, but that's what they do. You know, if you play Liverpool, for crying out loud, just put 11 players behind the ball because they're going to score at the end. I mean, look at every game this season they've played, they've scored late. We're looking 94th, 100th minute, 83rd minute, 95th minute, 92nd minute against Atletico Madrid, although I did get a tweet saying it's Atletico, not Atletico, and I think I did say Atletico. So there's no th in the Athletic. It's t. So we did the Jake Whiteman thing, which was the athletics, and then we're doing the Madrid team, which is athletic. Oh.
Yeah. Quite right.
Thank you very much. I like to get things correct. So 2-0 up after 7 minutes, then Atletico Madrid came back with 2 goals, and then Liverpool scored right at the end. But very early days in the Champions League, because they've got to play 8 games. So the first one at Anfield, it's under their belt, so that's fine. Chelsea didn't do quite so well, lost at Bayern Munich 3-1. Harry Kane, you see. Harry Kane scored 2 goals.
Does it again.
Does it again. Man City against Napoli tonight. And Newcastle, it's going to be huge at St James's Park as they play Barcelona.
Now, it's not going too well for your old mate Ange Postecoglou.
No, it's not going very well at all.
Why are you smiling, Paul?
What? Oh, yeah, sorry.
I don't know. Will not be happy.
It was the way you said Ange Postecoglou has got my number. I know. Ange Postecoglou as Nottingham. See, now it's out there. I'm going to smile anyway because it wasn't good for Nottingham Forest yesterday. They were 2-0 up against
You're even starting to sound like Ange now.
And lost 3-2, mate. Wasn't happy. He wasn't happy with the players.
But doesn't he say you only won a trophy in the second season?
He does, yeah. Was that going to be the championship? I don't really know. Sorry. But we'll see. So it didn't go... Well, look, it's very early days. Seriously, though, it's very early days. Only the second game. You know, you could always give manager a chance. So we're going to see how things go with Ange. Chris Eubank Jr. and Conor Benn.
Are they ever going to stop arguing?
Well, it's all kicked off, and I just thought we'd like to see a little bit of the trust talk.
Go on then.
So they met at a news conference yesterday. They're going to be fighting again in November. And Chris Eubank Jr. has accused... Oh, dear. He's saying that the build-up to the fight and the day of the fight, everything was put in his way to stop him winning. Whether it's true or not, here he is talking about it.
They did everything they could to try and destroy me in this last fight. Contract breaches, fines, rehydration clauses, sabotage weigh-in, biased commentary and refereeing.
Oh, my God.
The list goes on, it's endless. Even on fight night, they blocked my team from coming to the stadium for 30 minutes. And then when I arrive, they have security walking in front of my car, trying to slow me down and stall me as much as possible to make me late.
I've never heard so much waffle in all my life.
You're going to hear a lot more.
No.
You're going to hear a lot more. It's incredible the levels that these guys will stoop to. I finally get into the stadium. I get into my change room. I'm preparing. They're sending idiots to try and disrupt me in my changing room. We get through that. I go out there, outside these walls, and I win the fight.
Oh, he's a chip off the old block.
Yeah.
And Eddie Hearn said, I've never heard so much waffle, and there's Conor Benn on his side, who, by the way, was wearing a Man City shirt as well. But it's... In November, there's going to be a lot more of that. Yeah. No more egg slapping, I think. But anyway, there's going to be a lot more.
It's great entertainment, though, isn't it?
It is, but it is all codswallop, isn't it?
It is. Sorry. What I was going to say was the Man City shirt was Ricky Hatton, so that was his tribute to Ricky Hatton.
Oh, right.
Oh.
But so that was a nice touch. But there's going to be a lot more that came from. Look forward to that.
Paul, thank you very much indeed.
Thank you. Now, do stay with us. Still to come, we're going to find out how some restaurants are adapting their portion sizes for people on weight loss drugs. Tim and Charlotte are here, going to be telling us all about that and more next.
First, though, if you want some holiday sun, here's the forecast for the top European destinations.
Can't wait to get in that sea.
Lovely and warm.
Just like the feeling of having great travel insurance.
All Clear Travel Insurance sponsors GB News Travel Destinations Forecast.
A northerly breeze bringing a slightly cooler feel to some of the Greek islands for the next day or so. Meanwhile, in the Canaries, temperatures above average, over 30 degrees through Friday and Saturday. 1 or 2 showers over northern Spain, but most of the beaches dry, fine and sunny, and some lovely sunshine to be had across Italy. Sunny in Greece. As I said, there is a bit of a breeze blowing. Temperature will be rising in Santorini as we go through the weekend. At the same time, we'll see those temperatures dropping off a bit in Tenerife.
All Clear Travel Insurance sponsors GB News Travel Destinations Forecast.
At GB News, we love to hear from you, our loyal community. So drop us a line at gbnews.com/yoursay. There you can talk to each other and also to the presenters live on air. gbnews.com/yoursay, because GB News is your channel, Britain's news channel.
Good afternoon, Britain. Weekdays from midday.
There's a big change in the age of parents, so first-time parents are getting older and older. There's been a significant increase in the number of men over 60 becoming fathers, a 15% increase in just 1 year, and an increase in the number of babies born to foreign parents. But what's really, really concerning is that what's called the total fertility rate, that's the average number of babies that each woman has over her childbearing life, has gone down again, and it's now at a record low, just 1.41 children on average per woman. And of course, we need about 2.1 to have a stable population. Now, a lot of people think, well, why don't we want the population to decline? We've been warning about burgeoning population for 50, 60 years now. But I think the really important factor to consider here is it's not really the overall size of the population that matters so much as the proportion of young to old, because that is what we need in order to have enough people working, enough people paying taxes to support people who are retired, to support people who are sick. And that is going down and down and down with huge economic consequences.
Do the figures divide it so that they can say whether the children are of African heritage or of this or of that? Does it tell you those sorts of statistics as well? And if so, what are they?
Yes, so we know the nationality of mothers who give birth, and in terms of foreign mothers, the greatest number of babies are born to women of Indian and Pakistani heritage. So they are the biggest numbers, the biggest nationalities. But I think what's really important to note is that even with the huge and unpopular levels of immigration that we've had, even with those levels, the birth rate is still falling and the ratio of young to old is still going down.
GB News, the People's Channel.
Join me, Nana Akweer, for an informative, interactive news programme with a difference. It's fun. No, he didn't say that, though. I'm so surprised.
I think there's an element of truth to that.
Join me from 3 p.m. every weekend, only on GB News, Britain's news channel.
In the GB Newsroom, we bring you the news as it happens.
With our team of dedicated journalists across the UK,
we're ready to keep you up to date with what's happening every half an hour, every single day. Bulletins here on GB News,
the People's Channel,
Britain's news channel.
We're going through the news this morning with presenter and broadcaster Tim Vincent and Mail on Sunday editor-at-large Charlotte Griffiths. Morning, you two. Charlotte, let's start with you. And forget the fat duck, now the thin duck.
Yes, I love this. So Heston Blumenthal famously has a restaurant called the Fat Duck, and now they're calling it the Thin Duck because on his menu he's kind of making a Manjaro menu. So it's going to be 20 to 30% smaller, much lighter, much healthier, and he himself is on Manjaro. Right. And what he's saying is this is actually happening on high street restaurants as well, especially in America, which will probably come over to here. And it's kind of got me thinking, shouldn't we have been doing this all along? So the high street restaurants are now offering more salad and more protein and smaller portion sizes. I think that's how we should have been eating all along. So it's obviously it's a chicken and egg situation.
People do want to go out and have a good feed, though.
Yeah. Well, Heston's
unless they're on Manjaro.
Yes,
yeah.
Exactly.
I think it's an excuse to ramp up their profits as well. We're going to give you less food. And I note that he's reduced his prices, but, you know, it's still... When you go out...
There'll still be more profit on it. Yeah.
There's more notable when you go out for a bite to eat now how more expensive it all is. I drink wine, so maybe that's why it...
Yeah, it could be the 18 bottles
It could be the 18 bottles de Pap.
Have you ever had one of those pizzas where the middle of the pizza is a salad?
Yes, I have.
Oh, yeah, they're quite nice.
They're quite nice, but they're the same price pretty much as a pizza.
You're being robbed.
No, I did do that once when I was trying to be good, and I just thought, no, I just felt...
This is silly.
I
Just have the pizza and enjoy it.
I just want the pizza.
Exactly. Exactly.
Tim, we were just talking in the break about getting older and how depressing it is. But there's a new AI tool that can predict 1,000 diseases.
Can you believe that? It's in the works. It'll be hopefully available, I say hopefully, within about 5 years' time, where they put in all your data, your information, and predict certain things that you need to be particularly aware of. And yours will be different to mine, heart conditions. It won't be able to deal with things like mental health issues, but anything that's physically in your body, they will be able to say, I think it's about time that you have this done or that done. 1,000 diseases. I'm not somebody that's a hypochondriac, but I am somebody that would like to be able to work out what I need to be aware of. Are you too hypochondriac?
Yes, I'm convinced I'm dying this morning.
You think you're dying this morning?
She's got a trapped nerve.
Stephen's diagnosed it as a trapped nerve, but I've got a dead arm and it really hurts here, and I've got pins and needles down my fingers.
You're not having a heart attack.
And when I Googled it this morning, it said I was having a heart attack.
No, you're not.
So I fear this may be the end.
You're not having a heart attack. Don't worry about that. No, I'm not a hypochondriac, but I'm a type 1 diabetic. So I've always been very across my health.
Really?
Sort of thing.
Yeah.
But then the advantage of that is that we get very thoroughly checked every year.
Yeah. So you don't need that tool, but for certain people, I think it would be very handy to go forward, especially with doctors being very busy, that they can literally put in all your details and work out where your path is, your health path.
My only concern is security on something like this, because if insurance companies get hold of this data and say you may develop heart disease in 20 years...
That's so true. It's a little bit too much personal information going out there into the ether.
It would have to be very, very secure.
These things never are, though.
No.
They can be hacked at any time.
Charlotte, would you turn to a PA to help you with the school run?
Definitely. I am suffering so much this September with admin, school admin. I've been asked this week to go once a week for an hour to read to the children in class, which is a lovely thing to do.
That's cute.
And I'm tempted to do it, but can I do it every week for the rest of term? And why aren't the teachers doing it, to be honest? And a lot of my there's a lot of voluntary work at our school, and it is lovely, but it's just like there's so much, and then there's all these different apps for the homework, which I cannot log into the apps. There's a reading owl. I don't know how to get hold of this owl, but I just want to read to my kids. And then they don't really use pens and papers anymore. They have to have these apps. Oh, it drives me out. I need a PA. I definitely need a PA.
I feel the pain. I'm the same as you. My children have just started, and there's 4 different apps, one for maths, one to know what they got to do this week, one for PA, and one for what the school are doing. And ironically, they're not quite 7, but they can work out the TV remote quicker than me, who's 52. And I thought, why are you giving me all these apps? They're better than the parents are already. I think one of the reasons these PAs are being used now, and it's not just a one-off funny story, lots of people are using them by the hour, because families are being fragmented so much. People having to work harder. We used to rely on mums and dads or granddads to pick up the kids and do all those things. Everybody now has a system when you ring up. You can't speak to a human. You have to go on a queue to sort things out, and that type of person can take over. However, I would predict within a couple of years it'll be AI that is your personal assistant.
Yes.
They will be doing all the calls for you. They'll be sorting out your renewal of your car insurance. Hopefully, anyway.
Because, I mean, to be fair, as lovely as it may be to have someone running your life, most people can't afford that.
No.
I mean, what would it cost for a PA?
Yeah. But per day, everybody, on average, is losing 34 minutes per day on needless phone calls, sorting out a parking ticket, getting through to the doctors, all the stuff that used to be really simple to do.
Yeah. Charlotte, can we have a look at Christian Bruckner, who has long been touted as the Meline McCann suspect?
They're only suspects.
But I don't know what there is in terms of actual evidence because he's been released from prison now.
He hasn't been charged, and he was in prison for something else, for actually raping an elderly woman. But what's very galling is these pictures of him eating a McDonald's, smoking a cigarette. The McDonald's was next to a baby shop. It's just, the pictures are quite jarring because, of course, he hasn't been charged, but there's just this feeling that he was a little bit too close to the whole Meline McCann situation. And it's just, it's in all the papers today, these pictures. They're not good to see.
It's amazing that it was in 2007 as well. A long time ago. When it comes to, in a year or so, 20 years.
There's just not enough evidence.
No.
Absolutely.
But it's so chilling because even German police in the papers today saying that he's a dangerous man and it's highly likely that he'll offend again.
Yeah, and the rape that he was sent down for was in the same area as the Meline McCann abduction. It's tricky.
It is, but it's one of those things, I know it's really, really uncomfortable, but if there hasn't been a judicial process, what can you do?
Yeah.
Absolutely.
That's the way it works.
I mean, Scotland Yard detectives were trying to interview him last week, weren't they? But you have to ask permission because obviously he's in a German prison, and he refused. As you would, I suppose, if you're being released the next week. So no, not very good, not very good.
Yeah, it's a shame that's not been solved.
Tim, let's talk about phones, shall we? Ban phones at school, says the Ofsted head.
Yeah, from the Grand Fromage is saying that if he ever became a head teacher again, he would ban phones completely in school. Ban. Yeah. He said after lockdown there was a noticeable difference with children's behaviour in school. Prior to that, he said if you put your phone on, then I will confiscate it. Now they would refuse to do that and would still have their phones. I assume that all schools banned phones anyway, that you weren't allowed to have phones in the classroom, but apparently in secondary schools 90% are banned, but there's still some ability to have your phone. The problem is that a lot of children get themselves to school on their own and get the back, and that phone is the one contact. And most parents, I'm sure you're the same, have a tracking device on the phone, so they somewhat feel that their child is safe, but it's ridiculous that phones are used in schools.
Should be lockers.
Yeah.
Your phone go in the lock, unless you're using it for a medical reason.
Absolutely, and that. But you know what? That you can have phones on your watches. You can have everywhere. You know, how do they do exams going forward? It's a big subject which I think is only going to get bigger because it's not just about the school. As soon as you go outside the school, they're all on the phone straight away. And my kids don't have phones, and hopefully they won't have it for quite a few years.
Why is this such a difficult issue? Why can't we just have a rule that says you can't have them in the classroom?
Well, yeah, this is what he's calling for, a blanket ban, because what's happened is it's kind of the teachers have to enforce this ban. And so what he's saying is since COVID, a teacher will say, put your phone away, and they just won't. It's almost like discipline has gone out the window since COVID. And if you had what he's calling for is a blanket ban, as you say, so you get to school and then everybody knows, it's not the teacher telling you, everybody knows, phone in the locker, straight away. No phone for the whole day.
Definitely the way to do
and it shouldn't make it into the classroom.
No.
Maybe that's the way to go. Thank you very much, you two.
Good to see you. Right, let's have a check on the weather with Alex.
Today, clouds overhead. Total zen within. Boxed Solar sponsors the weather on GB News.
Morning. Welcome along to your latest weather update from the Met Office here on GB News. Warm conditions for some today, pretty wet conditions for others. Been a very windy night across northern Scotland. The wind's easing here a little bit, but still plenty of showers packing in over the Highlands. Quite a damp start again for Wales, and the rain's going to get heavier through the day over northwest England, parts of Northern Ireland. Quite a bit of cloud this morning over central and southern parts of England, but that cloud should break up. Much of the east will stay dry and bright, and with some sunshine here, 23, 24, maybe even 25 Celsius. Cooler further west, should be turning drier and brighter across Wales by this afternoon, but getting quite breezy as the rain continues to come into Northern Ireland later today, and it will pep up in southwest Scotland as well. Those gusty winds, as I said, steadily easing over northern Scotland, but still quite breezy here. The showers should ease too. We'll see some sunshine over eastern Scotland. After a largely dry, bright day, we'll see the central belt turning damp for this evening. Some heavy rain likely over parts of northwest England, and North Wales seeing the odd shower, but generally turning drier over Wales and staying fine for much of the day over the Midlands, southern and eastern England. Just a bit breezy here. Through the night, that zone of wetter weather will continue, so further heavy rain possible over northwest England, North Wales and southwest Scotland, especially the brighter colours there. Need to watch that because the rain building up over the next 24 hours or so. Another pretty mild night in the south. Temperatures, well, may well stay in the mid-teens in towns and cities. On to Friday, and again, big contrasts. Warm with some hazy autumn sunshine over eastern England, staying pretty wet for parts of northwest England, north and west Wales. Something a bit brighter for much of Scotland, Northern Ireland, some good spells of sunshine here, and temperatures here getting into the high teens, but mid-20s likely over parts of eastern England, maybe even as high as 26 Celsius across the southeast tomorrow.
Today, clouds overhead. Total zen within. Boxed Solar sponsors the weather on GB News.
Crash Law 24 sponsors GB News Traffic and Travel Report.
Good morning. This is the latest AI travel news from gbnews.com. The A92 faces restrictions in both directions with a reduced speed limit of 30 miles per hour. This road is off limits to double-decker buses, so drive carefully. On the A31 eastbound near the A338 junction at Ringwood, there's been a collision causing delays. In Essex, the A12 northbound between junction 15 and 16 is closed due to a road traffic incident. Conditions should improve by 1:19 this afternoon, but expect significant delays. And on the trains, no services are running between Exeter Central and Exmouth, while between Corkickle and Whitehaven, buses replace trains. For more travel news, go to gbnews.com.
Crash Law 24 sponsors GB News Traffic and Travel Report.
It's our biggest Great British giveaway to date. You could be driving away with this brand new Benamar Primera motorhome. This 4-berth home from home comes complete with integrated kitchen and bathroom areas and has all of the tech you'd expect from the latest 2025 model. We'll also give you an incredible £30,000 in tax-free cash to make sure that any adventures you take in your new motorhome are taken in style. For a chance to win, text WIN to 63225. One entry costs £2.50 plus one standard network rate message, or text BONUS to 63225. 5 entries cost £5 plus one standard network rate message. Go to gbnews.com/win. Entries start at £2.50. Call 0903 686 3232. Calls cost £2.50 plus your network access charge. Or post your name and number to GB16 PO Box 8690 Derby DE1 9TT. UK only. Entrance must be 18 or over. Lines close at 4 p.m. on the 31st of October. Please check the closing time if listening or watching on demand.
Britain was once the envy of the world, but look around. A nation that no longer knows what it is or where it's going. A country that's broken. How do we fix Britain? How do we bring it back? Friday night with Matt Goodwin at 8 p.m.
Only on GB News.
At GB News, we love to hear from you, our loyal community. So drop us a line at gbnews.com/yoursay. There, you can talk to each other and also to the presenters live on air. gbnews.com/yoursay, because GB News is your channel, Britain's news channel.
Join me, Nana Akweer, for an informative, interactive news programme with a difference. It's fun. No, he didn't say that, though. I'm so surprised.
I think there's an element of truth to that.
Join me from 3 p.m. every weekend, only on GB News, Britain's news channel.
Good morning. A state visit second to none.
Yes, the royal family woo President Donald Trump as King Charles praises the special relationship between the UK and the US.
Mr. President, from York to New York, from Birmingham, England to Birmingham, Alabama, we are united by a common language and shared heritage.
Well, President Trump has woken up in Windsor Castle behind me, but has the King's hospitality, the pomp and pageantry, paved the way for those tough political negotiations to be slightly better?
Well, we hope so, because the President is heading to Chequers this morning to meet the Prime Minister.
But could a press conference held by the two world leaders cause an embattled Sir Keir Starmer further issues?
From pomp to politics, that Donald Trump has been put in the best possible mood by that incredible greeting from the royal family. Will it help to get us a better deal, perhaps on steel? And how is that press conference going to go when there's potentially some very tricky questions coming their way?
The environment spokesperson for the Lib Dems backs Ed Davey's decision to boycott last night's banquet over the crisis in Gaza.
We all know the way world politics works. The one man on planet Earth who could pick up the phone and stop all that is Donald Trump, and he refuses to do so. And so what does Ed Davey do? He chooses to use the voice that he has in order to make this stand.
The Home Secretary accuses migrants of mocking British laws as she vows to appeal blocks on deporting migrants to France.
US late-night host Jimmy Kimmel's programme is pulled from the airwaves following comments over Charlie Kirk.
Pubs priced out. We're finding out why publicans are warning the Great British Pub could soon be a thing of the past.
Pubs are the backbone of the British society. People love pubs, and we feel that we're being taxed down.
And sport this morning in the Champions League. Liverpool scored late again to win at Anfield as Chelsea lose in Munich. Tonight, Manchester City played Napoli as Newcastle take on Barcelona. And in Tokyo, Jake Whiteman just misses out on gold at the World Athletics Championships.
Big contrasts across the UK today. A very wet day for some, a warm day for others, and temperatures likely to rise in the southeast for tomorrow, maybe up to 26 degrees Celsius. Find out all the details with me coming up shortly.
It's just gone at 8 o'clock. I'm Stephen Dixon.
I'm Ellie Costello, and this is GB News Breakfast. Now, who likes the sound of an ice cream van jingle? You know the one.
Yeah, I like an ice cream van. It's lovely.
It reminds me of summer.
Yeah, reminds you a bit.
And I usually go racing out the front door.
Do you really? Do you really?
Yeah.
Do you?
Me and my sister, yeah. She's always at my house. Yeah, we just race out the door. We get an oyster with...
An oyster?
You know, the oyster one you can get.
Yeah.
Because it's got a bit of marshmallow in it.
I know
Lovely.
those.
Yeah, and then you get the Mr. Whippy ice cream.
Yeah.
And then the flake, and then strawberry sauce.
99?
99. But they're not 99 anymore. Around my way, they're about £3.50.
Oh, are they?
They were never 99p.
Is that why they were called 99s?
Yeah, because they were 99p. They were 99p, I remember.
They must have been cheaper than 99p back
They were, back in my day, they were.
So why were they called 99s?
Don't know.
I don't know, it's a great question that we should probably get to the bottom to.
Yes.
Anyway, this story today is about killjoys from one council in Britain. This is South Cambridgeshire District Council.
You misery guts.
Are looking to limiting ice cream van jingles to 12 seconds.
Oh, come on.
What difference is that going to make? What, 12 seconds and what, per area? The whole thing is that you hear it, so you know they're there. It's ice cream time.
You can play it for 12 seconds on a street. So when you first get to the street, you can play it for 12 seconds and that's it. So Tony D, who runs 6 Mr. Whippy vans in East Anglia, said that this is the council trying to finish the trade off. He says 12 seconds is not long enough for the chimes to cover long streets.
They're always the same tunes, aren't they? That's never changed over the years.
No.
You must buy rights to it or something when you become an ice cream van man.
Do you think it's a button?
Yes.
As you're driving along and it just... And then it just...
Well, there's not someone in the back with a glockenspiel. Go on, Henry!
Ding, 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 ding. There it comes.
Oh, glockenspiel is so good. That's brilliant. Yes, sales could also be banned outside schools unless teachers give permission, as well as 50 metres of hospitals. And also, vans could be restricted to only parking 50 minutes. People in hospital need the joy. They need an ice cream van.
Laying there with
How many people are dashing out of the hospital?
Laying there with your tubes and then you can hear the tune. Oh, God, we will be able to go. The Mr. Whippy tune is going. It's not going to know.
If you're visiting someone in hospital, you'd be running out for an ice cream. It would cheer you up.
Yes. Well, we know well how to cheer you up in future. Just give her an oyster.
Anyway, I should say that council spokesperson insisted it's only a consultation and it's only in place until next year.
Yeah, I like it. We've had a few ice cream vans around this year. I like it.
Yeah, they must make a killing as well.
Yeah, well,
I hear them, but I never see them. I don't know how far the thing goes.
Yeah, that's true.
You know, you can hear them from a distance. I never seen them go past.
Do you know what, that happened to me the other day? Well, it wasn't the other day, it was a few weeks ago now. That applies to most things.
Yeah, but you don't have to worry about that.
Anyway, the jingle went off and I went dashing out the front door looking for the ice cream van, couldn't find it, could
See?
I was roaming the streets.
That's it. It's because they're so loud, you can hear them for over 15 miles away.
Is that what it is?
Yes, that's what it is.
Yeah. No wonder the Ollies are
And they're the ones that play the live music.
Oh, yeah.
That's the live ones. That's the ones we really like.
Yes, well,
that bring the musicians. And it keeps musicians in work as well, which is a really great thing.
One around your house with a mariachi band in the back.
I love a mariachi band, especially one with a great big guitar.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah.
Anyway, should we do some work? I don't know how we even got onto that.
I don't know. We've wasted 6 minutes. President Trump is heading to Chequers this morning after last night's historic state banquet in Windsor.
Yes, King Charles addressed attendees, reflecting on the enduring relationship between the two nations and even referenced support for Ukraine.
Our countries have the closest defence, security and intelligence relationship ever known. In 2 world wars, we fought together to defeat the forces of tyranny. Today, as tyranny once again threatens Europe, we and our allies stand together in support of Ukraine to deter aggression and secure peace.
So that was all the drama from last night, and very lovely it was too. But now it's off to Chequers to meet the Prime Minister. What are they going to talk about, and what is the news conference going to be like? I think that's where the concern lies at the moment. Let's see what our political correspondent Catherine Forster makes of it all as she hovers outside Chequers for us this morning. Hi, Catherine.
Good morning. Yes, we are all hovering here, tons of media, because the US President will arrive at Chequers, the Prime Minister's country home, later this morning. Of course, he had the most incredible time, didn't he, at Windsor? Those photographs of him stood beaming from ear to ear with the King and the Queen, and him saying that it was truly one of the highest honours of his life. So all that to put him in the best possible mood for conversations here, talks about trade. The government very keen to trumpet this £150 billion of US investment coming our way, lots of it to do with AI. Of course, we don't know what we're going to have to give in return for that yet. Also, of course, the thorny issue of steel and aluminium tariffs. We expected those to have gone by now. It was announced months ago. They're still at 25%. They seem to be stuck there. But Donald Trump did say, but just before he got on the plane the other day, I'm into helping them. So they will be hoping. Number 10 have just told me there are still negotiations ongoing about those. Also, they'll be talking about Ukraine and Gaza. The government would like much more movement from Donald Trump on those. And then, of course, there will be the press conference, and I think that really is the moment of peril for the Prime Minister. He's had a very, very rocky couple of weeks. He will want it to go well. But Donald Trump, let's face it, loves the cameras, loves to freewheel. You do not know what he's going to say. And there's a couple of things that I think could prove very tricky. Free speech is one of them. MAGA seems to be very concerned about free speech in this country. That could be tricky. And also, of course, the E word. Jeffrey Epstein. Only last week, the Prime Minister was forced to sack our US Ambassador, Peter Mandelson, over his links to Epstein. There's also awkward questions for Trump that he does not want to answer. I think it a dead cert that will be raised. So that could be very difficult this afternoon. We will have a snap analysis of the state visit on our GB News newsletter. To get that, just scan the QR code on screen or go to gbnews.com/news-newsletter.
Very much. Well, let's get the thoughts now. Vice Chair of Democrats Abroad UK, George King. Good to see you this morning, George. What's your assessment of how the state visit is going so far?
Good morning. Thank you for having me. And I have no idea. I'm seeing the same type of reporting that you're showing this morning. It seemed to go well enough, I suppose, in the room. I am struck by a few things, though. I mean, clearly, and I think your reporter was just noting that Donald Trump seemed to enjoy the ceremony, and the contrast to how he himself acts in terms of sort of a lack of adhering to standards, a lack of adhering to traditions, a lack of following protocols in almost every other situation. The contrast is stark, and how this country and His Majesty and the government are respecting historical relationships and showing this respect for allies is in such stark contrast to Trump himself and how he has been treating everyone around the world and around the U.S., how he speaks to and about other leaders, how he ended his first term. It was a complete lack of all of these standards and traditions and protocols and so forth. So the contrast is stark, but hopefully it's having an effect.
Well, I mean, look, part of the advantage we have is obviously, Donald Trump, as President of the United States, is a very, very powerful man. I mean, they talk about them being the most powerful office in the world. However, he still has to show deference to our king, as he did to the Queen Elizabeth. And that's the position of power that ultimately the royal family gives us.
Yeah, that's true. The only thing I guess I would challenge is the notion that he has to. He clearly doesn't, but he does. So it's positive that he does. He clearly doesn't in almost every other situation. So I agree with you that there's something there, and it makes sense for the UK to try and take advantage of and bolster and try and use that to strengthen other parts of the relationship. But all I can say is I remain hopeful, because what we have seen, unfortunately, and you've, I'm sure, reported on this many times over the weeks, months, et cetera, is that Donald Trump will say one thing and act one way and then reverse course 30 seconds later and doesn't seem to be bound in any way by someone's good behavior towards him, doesn't feel like he needs to pay that back. By his prior comments that he would do or say a certain thing and then reverse that quite quickly. So hopefully whatever happened last night that might have been very positive and that he might have appreciated will be reflected in his future conduct today and going forward.
Well, we'll have to wait and see. George, thank you very much. Good to see you. Thank you.
Good to see you.
Right. Should we wet your whistle with the Great British Giveaway now? Because you could be our biggest winner to date with a prize package worth more than £104,000.
Yeah, that's a brand new motorhome and £30,000 in tax-free cash. Here's Hayley Sparks with all the details.
It's our biggest, greatest Great British giveaway to date. Your chance to win a prize package worth over £104,000. You could be driving away with this brand new Benamar Primero motorhome. With thanks to Marquis Leisure, this 4-berth home from home comes complete with integrated kitchen and bathroom areas, sky view roof lights, and has all the tech you'd expect from the latest 2025 model. We'll also give you an incredible £30,000 in tax-free cash to make sure any adventures in your motorhome are taken in style.
For another chance to win, text WIN to 63225. One entry costs £2.50 plus one standard network rate message. Or text BONUS to 63225. 5 entries cost £5 plus one standard network rate message. Go to gbnews.com/win. Entries start at £2.50. Call 0903 686 3232. Calls cost £2.50 plus your network access charge. Or post your name and number to GB16, PO Box 8690, Derby, DE1 9TT. UK only. Entrants must be 18 or over. Lines close at 4 p.m. on the 31st of October. The winner will be contacted live on GB News, week commencing 10th November. Please check the closing time if listening or watching on demand. Good luck.
Yes, good luck. Now let's get a check on the weather with Alex Deacon.
Expect warm spells with the odd rude interruption. Box Boilers sponsors the weather on GB News.
Morning. Welcome along to your latest weather update from the Met Office here on GB News. Warm conditions for some today, pretty wet conditions for others. Been a very windy night across northern Scotland. The wind's easing here a little bit, but still plenty of showers packing in over the Highlands. Quite a damp start again for Wales, and the rain's going to get heavier through the day over northwest England, parts of Northern Ireland. Quite a bit of cloud this morning over central and southern parts of England, but that cloud should break up. Much of the east will stay dry and bright, and with some sunshine here, 23, 24, maybe even 25 Celsius. Cooler further west, should be turning drier and brighter across Wales by this afternoon, but getting quite breezy as the rain continues to come into Northern Ireland later today, and it will pep up in southwest Scotland as well. Those gusty winds, as I said, steadily easing over northern Scotland, but still quite breezy here. The showers should ease too. We'll see some sunshine over eastern Scotland. After a largely dry, bright day, we'll see the central belt turning damp for this evening. Some heavy rain likely over parts of northwest England, and North Wales seeing the odd shower, but generally turning drier over Wales and staying fine for much of the day over the Midlands, southern and eastern England. Just a bit breezy here. Through the night, that zone of wetter weather will continue, so further heavy rain possible over northwest England, North Wales and southwest Scotland, especially the brighter colours there. Need to watch that because the rain building up over the next 24 hours or so. Another pretty mild night in the south. Temperatures, well, may well stay in the mid-teens in towns and cities. On to Friday, and again, big contrasts. Warm with some hazy autumn sunshine over eastern England, staying pretty wet for parts of northwest England, north and west Wales. Something a bit brighter for much of Scotland, Northern Ireland, some good spells of sunshine here, and temperatures here getting into the high teens, but mid-20s likely over parts of eastern England, maybe even as high as 26 Celsius across the southeast tomorrow.
Expect warm spells with the odd rude interruption. Boxed Boilers sponsors the weather on GB News.
Still to come, Jimmy Kimmel's show has been suspended following remarks he made about Charlie Kirk on Monday. We'll discuss that later on.
But first, the US President Donald Trump called last night's state banquet one of the greatest honours of his life. We're going to talk more about that next.
5 hosts, 5 opinions, 5 fearless debates, 5 unfiltered takes on the day's news.
5 reasons not to be anywhere else on Saturday night.
This is the Saturday 5. You got me. You got me good there. Britain's biggest Saturday night TV show. It's not a bad brand. Yeah. Uncensored.
Very, very racy tonight.
On the unpredictable.
What does she say? Can you translate it for us?
And always entertaining.
And how can a country go from being led by William Wallace Saturday nights from 6 p.m. only on GB News, the People's Channel.
Britain's news channel.
You're going to want to stay tuned, trust me.
Sir Jacob Rees-Mogg's State of the Nation, Monday to Thursday from 8 p.m.
I thought you'd set up a new version of Pimlico Plumbers in London.
Yeah, my family have set up a company called We Fix London, but we started planning that, 2 years before Labour got in. If we'd known Labour was getting in, we wouldn't have planned it. So obviously we've got to comply with the tax regulations, but anybody with any sense would agree with what I'm saying. The taxes are too high in the UK for wealthy people. Wealthy people can go and work anywhere in the world and be financially a lot better off.
And we had a non-dom regime that was basically stable for 200 years. It's only recently that it's been changed. And we're changing it and making it harder, just as other countries are making it easier. So you can go to Italy and you can negotiate an amount that you will pay. Portugal's been welcoming people. Malta's been welcoming people. All over the world, countries are saying, please come and bring your money. And the UK is saying, we're going to take all your money. We don't want you anymore.
That's right. Look, they're all encouraging sort of UK business people to come there, and it's working. If you become a tax exile in Italy, you pay 200 grand for the year. You don't have to pay no more. But the real problem is we're wasting their money, and they should be encouraging entrepreneurs to be staying. I think our biggest export at the moment is wealthy people.
So you're a businessman. You know how to do things and make a profit. If you're advising the Chancellor on how to get the money the country needs to pay for the public services, what would you be saying? Because at the moment, the tax revenues don't meet our expenditure. There is a gap. something needs to give.
Resign.
All right, but that's not the answer.
GB News, the People's Channel.
In the GB Newsroom, we bring you the news as it happens.
With our team of dedicated journalists across the UK,
we're ready to keep you up to date with what's happening every half an hour, every single day. Bulletins here on GB News,
the People's Channel,
Britain's news channel.
It's 8:20, and last night President Trump attended that state banquet at Windsor Castle. He said it was one of the highest honours of his life.
Well, the president said it was a privilege to be the first American president treated to a second state visit as the first day of his unprecedented trip drew to a close.
Let's talk to our royal correspondent, Cameron Walker, who's still in Windsor, where the President and First Lady have spent the night. We understand, Cameron, I mean, you have to say we pulled out all the stops for them.
Yeah, I think we did, Stephen, and it looked like nothing went wrong either. And from observing President Trump and the First Lady for the majority of yesterday, it was clear that he was genuinely really enjoying himself. He couldn't hide his grin, even in St George's Chapel, which is where I was probably closest to him, where he was paying his respects at the tomb of the late Queen and listening to the choristers sing for him and meeting them. He was genuinely in awe of the history of the place. He clearly loves the pomp, the pageantry, the history of this country, and indeed the royal family. Of course, his mother was from Scotland, and he does have that affinity with the royal family. But of course, the highlight was the state banquet that took place last night in St George's Hall. The table itself, the length of 2.7 Marine One helicopters, which is the helicopter that President Trump flies in, if they were laid end to end. The president, in his speech, praised King Charles as a very, very special man. He also praised the King's son, the Prince of Wales, and was in awe of the Princess of Wales, describing her as radiant, healthy and beautiful. And the images we've seen of the Princess of Wales wearing the British-designed golden gown, Queen Mary's lover's knot tiara, has done absolute wonders on social media and online. And President Trump had the pleasure of sitting next to the Princess of Wales during the banquet, and they had lots and lots of conversations. And the Prince and Princess of Wales also had a private meeting with President Trump and the First Lady. But of course, it's all about soft power. President Trump also invited by the King to inspect a Guard of Honour, the largest ever in living memory for a visiting head of state during a state visit. And of course, the piece de resistance, perhaps, the RAF Red Arrows flying over Windsor Castle in King Charles's honour. But of course, the pomp and pageantry is now over, Stephen and Ellie. The soft power has been wielded. So let's see if it's made a difference for when President Trump leaves Windsor Castle in the next hour or so and travels to Chequers to meet the Prime Minister. If those tough political negotiations, let's see if President Trump will cut Prime Minister Starmer some slack, having been wined and dined in Windsor Castle.
OK, Cameron, thank you very much indeed.
Keeping a very close eye on that all day, as you would expect. But if you are heading off to work or school this morning, here's your traffic and travel update.
Crash Law 24 sponsors GB News Traffic and Travel Report.
Good morning. This is the latest AI travel news from gbnews.com. Motorists should prepare for significant delays on the A92 as it is restricted in both directions, with a speed limit at 30 miles per hour for safety. On the M11 southbound between Junction 13 and Junction 12, an accident has closed all lanes. Meanwhile, on the eastbound A31 at its junction with the A338, one lane remains closed due to a road traffic collision, causing about 10 minutes of delay. And on the trains, Great Western Railway services between Exeter Central and Exmouth are not operating, and buses are replacing northern trains between Corkicle and Whitehaven. Stay safe on your journeys today. For more travel news, go to gbnews.com.
Crash Law 24 sponsors GB News Traffic and Travel Report.
Now, do stay with us, still to come. The Great British Pub could soon become a thing of the past. I hope not.
Yeah, I hope not as well. We'll find out more later.
Decisions made in Washington aren't just shaping America, they're shaping Britain too. From migration to global security, from crime to health. Whatever happens in the White House today
will be felt in your town or city tomorrow.
That's why The Late Show is live from Washington, D.C.
Cutting through the politics to show you what it all means for Britain.
The Late Show Live starts Monday night at midnight.
Only on GB News,
Britain's news channel.
Exciting news. Every Friday, my Patrick Christie's Tonight Show is going to have a twist to it. We're welcoming some special guests. You. That's right, on Fridays I'm going to be doing my show in front of a live studio audience because this show is about you and what you have to say. It's going to be the same big debates, same big topics, same big opinions. But every Friday night at 9 p.m, you are invited to come on down to Patrick Christie's Tonight to be a part of the action. Only on GB News, the People's Channel, Britain's news channel.
Hi, I'm Michelle Dewberry and my show is your opportunity to cut through all the noise and dive in headfirst to some robust debates. Ideas clash.
Situation, isn't it?
No,
because
you're deliberately avoiding my point. Nothing's held back.
And if you think this is the end of it, wait for more.
And we do not shy away from the difficult stuff. Sometimes I want to shake people and say, if only you understood. So join me on Jubes & Co weeknights at 6 p.m, only on GB News, Britain's news channel.
From the school run to the home run, watch a new show for all of Britain.
So he can say whatever he wants.
A straight-talking show where all voices are heard.
And, you know, when are we going to stop talking about smashing the gangs and actually do it?
With the stories that matter from every part of our country.
There's a bit of a crash landing there for your Chancellor.
Bold, fearless and standing up for you. That's me, Martin Daubney, 3 p.m. till 6 p.m, weekdays, here only on GB News. The People's Channel, Britain's news channel.
Britain was once the envy of the world, but look around. A nation that no longer knows what it is or where it's going. A country that's broken. How do we fix Britain? How do we bring it back? Friday night with Matt Goodwin at 8 p.m, only on GB News.
At GB News, we love to hear from you, our loyal community. So drop us a line at gbnews.com/yoursay. There, you can talk to each other and also to the presenters live on air. gbnews.com/yoursay, because GB News is your channel, Britain's news channel.
Join me, Nana Okoye, for an informative, interactive news programme with a difference. It's fun.
No, he didn't say that, though.
I'm so surprised.
I think there's an element of truth to that.
Join me from 3 p.m. every weekend, only on GB News, Britain's news channel.
Decisions made in Washington aren't just shaping America, they're shaping Britain too. From migration to global security, from crime to health. Whatever happens in the White House today
will be felt in your town or city tomorrow.
That's why The Late Show is live from Washington, D.C.
Cutting through the politics to show you what it all means for Britain.
The Late Show Live starts Monday night at midnight.
Only on GB News,
Britain's news channel.
Welcome back. It's Sports Time with Paul Coit, who's here with us. Morning.
Good morning.
Liverpool?
Yes.
Did well?
Not bad.
Last
3-2.
minute.
Last minute. Again.
They keep pulling it out of the bag last minute.
You can't be leaving Anfield early.
No.
You know, there's a very good chance you're going to score at the end, which they've done all season. Arne Slot was happy for two reasons. The first one was the fact that they won, and the other reason was...
I don't know.
It's his birthday.
Oh, of course.
It was, and he's 47. 47.
47. Let's hear what Arne had to say yesterday.
Second year in a row that I had to celebrate my birthday on a Champions League night, and the second time in a row that the players gave me a nice present because we won them both. But I would like to ask the UEFA if next year I can celebrate my birthday with my friends and family.
Good for him. Happy birthday, Arne Slot.
Happy birthday.
47. Happy birthday.
Good result for him as well.
Very good. Bayern Munich 3, Chelsea 1. Bayern Munich just too good for Chelsea. I know they're the world champions, but the thing is, when you go to Munich and you have to play Bayern and Harry Kane on form as well, so Harry Kane scored 2 goals. But nothing to worry about. Very early days in the Champions League, so to go away at Bayern and lose there, it's not a problem. There's still a long way to go. Man City play Napoli tonight in the Champions League. It's the return of Kevin De Bruyne, who's going to be playing for Napoli at Manchester City, which would be interesting.
Yeah.
And Newcastle, huge game at St James's because they've got Barcelona coming. So Newcastle in the Champions League, that's the place it's going to be rocking there tonight.
Yeah. Oh, that'll be a good one. It'll be a good one. Can we talk to Jake Whiteman, friend of the show?
Friend of the show, Jake Whiteman. We love Jake. He's the nicest man, one of the nicest men in sport. He went through a really tough time. 2022, he won the World Championship, then got injured, and then he was out of the Olympics, and he hasn't run well. And even during the heats for the 1,500 metres, he's like, well, you know what? I don't think... if I don't make it through this, then it's probably... I'm going to retire. So it's probably going to be over. Anyway, he went into the final of 1,500 metres, and this is... Let's have a look. This is what happened. So there we are. Josh Kerr was in it as well. Josh Kerr with the sunglasses, who is the current world champion. There he is at the back. Now, we wonder why he was at the back of the pack and thinking, you know, is this tactics? But then he pulls up with an injury. And if you look, you can see that happen. So whether I think it was a calf. He still managed to continue, though. There we are. There he goes there. But, you know, I would pull out at this point. But he's continued. He's kept going. Now, this is coming to the last 100 metres. Jake Whiteman then in front and looks like... I'm thinking, are you going to make it? Come on, Jake. Screaming at it. Come on. There's only about 10 metres left. And then he just gets pipped right at the very end by Isaac Nader, the Portuguese runner, who looks as surprised as we were. And there's Jake. So very disappointing the fact they didn't win the gold, but silver was a magnificent performance considering what he's been through, and we're really, really pleased for him. So he continues to run. Look at that. Look how close he was. Just on the line. 200ths of a second away. 200ths of a second in a 1,500-metre race. So unlucky Jake. Right, do you want to do some birthdays?
Oh, yes, go on. We're excited.
Birthdays today, of course, it was Arne Slot yesterday, who was...
47.
47, so first one, I think we have a football one first. That was Peter Shilton. Another friend of the show, Shilts. Now, how old do you think Peter Shilton is? I'll be honest with you, I undercooked this. So if you think he played in... This is from the early 70s. He was playing for England. Played in Italia 90, so playing in 1990.
76.
Well. 76 for Peter Shilton.
80.
76 is the right answer. That's very good.
That's very good.
Are you doing cheaty business?
I'm not. No,
sure?
no, I'm not.
Let's go with another one. Cricketer. Darren Goff, fast bowler. Darren. That is the most bizarre picture of Darren Goff I've ever seen.
He looks about 12.
He looks about 12.
Is he 13 today?
That's, honestly, I would never even recognise that was Darren Goff, let alone... Anyway,
54.
54 for Darren
57.
Goff. 55 is the answer.
Oh, very close.
Right, talking about cheating, who we got next? Oh, it's Lance Armstrong. Well, I never.
He's got... I'm going to sit with 54.
54. Well, he'll probably say that he's 33 and expect us to believe it, but it's not. Well, it's not good. I'm never going to forgive him for what he did. No. I know you're like a cycling and everything,
yeah, I don't know. I always did the Live Strong Foundation.
Yeah, I know.
I was all in all of that.
Yeah, but even so, he still cheated.
He did cheat, I know. So 54.
54 for Lance Armstrong.
57.
Are you just throwing a number in there, or are you?
Yeah. 57.
54 is the right answer again.
No, you're being very good
really?
today.
Something very...
I'm on fire today.
Fishy and strange.
I'm on fire.
It's just very good.
One more. Let's go with one more.
Oh, I don't know.
Michael Bully Boy Smith, darts player. Now, with golfers, it's always a little trickier because often they dress older and look older. So with the darts player, I have a look. What do you think? How old is Michael Bully Boy Smith?
I'm going to say 33.
33 for Michael Smith. Ellie, redeem yourself. You haven't got one right today.
30.
30 what?
1.
30 what?
1. 31.
I'm trying to help you out here, and you keep saying 1. 35.
He's got a bit of a baby face.
Under that beard. That would be all baby, wouldn't it?
Yeah.
He's having a great time on form at the moment. Former world champion. Not playing too well at the moment, but happy birthday, Michael.
Well, I hope he has a nice day.
I got 2 on the nose today.
You did.
That's
very
good
work by you.
That's a record.
Yeah. Have you been practicing while you've been away?
Yeah, I've been practicing. I practice every day,
walking down the street and going, 56.
Yeah.
No, 55.
How many black eyes I've had.
Yeah.
Lots and lots. Lovely. Paul, thank you very much indeed.
38, by the way, me.
Yeah, I know, yeah.
38.
Yeah.
Thank Thanks, quirky. Do stay with us, still to come. It's a spider spiral. The insects have come to Britain in their droves over the warm summer, apparently. And it's going to last till winter. They're bigger than ever.
Why is it a spiral?
I think they're getting bigger and bigger.
Spiralling.
Spiralling.
Yeah, right. Anyway, if you don't want to think about spiders, but do want to think about a bit of holiday sun, here's the European forecast.
I hope we haven't forgotten anything.
Travel insurance, I tick that box.
Yeah, but remember what you forgot last year.
All Clear Travel Insurance sponsors GB News Travel Destinations Forecast.
A northerly breeze bringing a slightly cooler feel to some of the Greek islands for the next day or so. Meanwhile, in the Canaries, temperatures above average, over 30 degrees through Friday and Saturday. 1 or 2 showers over northern Spain, but most of the beaches dry, fine and sunny, and some lovely sunshine to be had across Italy. Sunny in Greece. As I said, there is a bit of a breeze blowing. Temperature will be rising in Santorini as we go through the weekend. At the same time, we'll see those temperatures dropping off a bit in Tenerife.
All Clear Travel Insurance sponsors GB News Travel Destinations Forecast.
Miriam, you can't be serious. Scrapping the triple lock on state pensions? Madness.
Andrew, we just can't carry on pretending. The numbers just don't add up. We've got to be honest with people. We've got to face the facts. That's what people want.
Well, that's what you get on GB News and on Britain's Newsroom. Lively debates, lively conversation.
Britain deserves a newsroom that puts the facts and your voice first, and we're not afraid to hold power to account.
And each other. So join me, Andrew Pearce.
And me, Miriam Gates, for Britain's Newsroom, weekdays from 9:30 on GB News.
The People's Channel, Britain's News Channel.
Sunday with Michael Portillo from 11, only on GB News.
And with a dynastic touch, George Martin's son, Giles Martin, is involved in all of this.
Yes, so he's the keeper of his father's flame, really, which is very touching.
It's very, very touching. How can it be? I mean, we've been talking about a band here that was playing before we were able to send pictures across the Atlantic. How can a band that is that old cause such excitement today?
Well, it's such a number of elements. They encapsulated so much of the early 20th century music. Fats Domino, Chuck Berry, Little Richard, Tim Panally through Paul McCartney's father. He grew up hearing his father playing the piano. He had a big jazz band. They played around Liverpool. So all of that music went into the Beatles' crucible. And I find it so interesting that you know, Decca get ribbed for turning them down. But those early sessions are not showing them at their best. And they say guitar bands are on their way out, but actually it took the Beatles to bring them back and show everybody a completely different scene, a completely different imagination of what guitar music can be. It took the Beatles 3 albums to really get into their stride, because their first 2, let's not forget, were sort of covers in a way. So there's a few of their own songs in there.
Yeah,
but
a lot of covers.
But with Hard Day's Night, it's all their own tracks. And what can I say? The energy of them, the invention of them, when you watch Get Back, you see how much craftsmanship they put into constructing a completely unique song. That's the thing about the Beatles. Each song is so unique. There's no replication in any of their output.
GB News, the People's Channel.
Britain was once the envy of the world. But look around. A nation that no longer knows what it is or where it's going. A country that's broken. How do we fix Britain? How do we bring it back? Friday night with Matt Goodwin at 8 p.m.
Only on GB News.
Welcome back to Breakfast. Let's take a look at some of the newspaper front pages this morning, shall we? And the Mail has a picture of the Princess of Wales looking stunning at the Windsor Castle State banquet last night for President Donald Trump. They also headline the Home Secretary criticising migrants who she says are exploiting human rights law.
The Mirror this morning has pictures of the main suspect in the Meline McCann case after he was released from prison in Germany.
The Guardian says the Prime Minister is banking on a new £150 billion investment in Britain announced during the state visit.
And the Mail has a picture of the Princess of Wales at the banquet last night as well. Have we done that one already? Have we done the Daily Mail twice?
Yeah, we have, yeah.
Oh,
joining
well,
us-
why not? Such a good picture.
It's the best newspaper.
Oh, yeah, right, yeah.
Why not do it twice?
Yeah, from the editor-at-large at the Mail on Sunday, Charlotte Griffiths, and the president. The president. I was about to call you there.
I like that,
The presenter.
yes. Don't make
and
eye
broadcaster
contact.
Tim Vincent. Morning, you two.
Well, you have hung about with the President of the United States quite a lot, haven't you, in your
I
BBC
have,
incarnation?
yes, yeah, my NBC lifestyle. I went to his wedding.
Did you really?
I went to Mar-a-Lago, yeah, been on... But
How did you find him? Because it's interesting. I met him once briefly in Trump Towers donkeys years ago, and he was, very jolly and just like a big TV personality. But a lot of people, when we've been debating him in the run to the presidential elections, loads of people were saying, well, he's such an intelligent man, he's so smart, he's so fast, he's so witty. I mean, is that how you found him?
I think your initial observation is correct. He is a bit of a personality, and he was a TV personality. The reason that I interviewed him was because he was the face of The Apprentice. You've got Alan Sugar here, but that's what he did in America for many years, NBC's biggest show. So I was dispatched regularly to go and interview him. And at the time, he had no public aspirations for his political ambitions, and he was just very good fun. I used to go to some parties that he was at, and he would introduce you as the next best thing with the Brits, and you'd start to believe his hype about you. And then eventually you'd be high-fiving, and then the next thing he'd turn around and ignore you as if you'd never been there. So he kind of whips everybody up and then moves off. Obviously, he's matured in a different direction since, but very interesting character.
Fascinating, isn't it? Fascinating. Charlotte, let's have a look at the Time, shall we, this morning? And an old-school tie still leads to a top job this morning.
The Sutton Trust has released a report called Elitist Britain Report, which is, a pretty scathing headline title, saying that, people that went to private school do better. And in the FTSE 100, 34% are state-educated and 37% are private school educated. The rest are grammar school educated. I have to say, I thought it'd be more than 37%. 62% of judges are privately educated and 50% of newspaper columnists are privately educated.
Wow.
And they're saying this is very unfair, and they're saying, they've called it the Elitist Britain Report, and they're kind of saying that if you went to Eton, you've got this amazing network and you're buying your way into a network. My argument would be, actually, of course, Eton, that is the case for Eton, but most private schools are not like that. They're just really aspirational parents who have maybe done state till 8, which is what I'm attempting to do, use the first 8 years to save for the private school years, just to kind of get them smaller class sizes. It's not, hugely elite to be at private school in many cases. Certainly the one I did go to one, actually, and it was just a girls' day school in Ealing. Most of the parents were dentists, accountants. My parents were journalists. It's not this super elite aristo thing.
Is that even going to be possible now, though? I mean, will dentists and will teachers, for example, be able to send their children to private school with VAT increases?
For sure. I mean, I was looking at the prices of the school I went to. I couldn't afford to send my kids there. Absolutely not. And it's true, the demographic has changed. And, the VAT thing, it has hit private schools really hard. A lot are closing. Some counties in the countryside only have one private school, and they're closing, and that's the end of that. There aren't any others.
What do you make of it, Tim?
I'm interested to see how many home-educated children, because that's a big and growing percentage of children now being home-educated because of the busy classes and all the bits and pieces. But I was impressed with electricity when I was growing up. When I went to school, and I seem to have done OK.
Yeah. I mean, in my case, for me, I was that naughty kid in the back of the class, and private school really saved me. I was getting terrible results at school. My parents saved up, put me in a private school, and I did better because of that extra attention, and it's OK to aspire to that.
Well, it is. I know the one thing that annoys me slightly about the whole private school thing is even when people say, and we had a lot of people on, and a lot of people have worked with previously who say, well, it's, I went to private school, but my parents had to really save for it. And you go, but where I'm from, it's just not an option. No. He could save every single penny they earned and he wouldn't be able to afford a private school. Yeah. And so it is a two-tier system, with which the vast majority of people cannot access under any circumstances.
But if you then do well in life and you earn a good salary, would you then only send your kids to state school?
I would only send... I haven't got kids, but if I did have kids, I would only send them to state school. But that's because my mum was a state school teacher, and,
really?
and I just, I sort of believe in the system, really. But then again, I'm saying that. I'm not in that situation, so it's different.
It also depends how bad your local state school is.
Yeah.
If you were a mum and you knew your kid had talent and they were being lost in the system.
Yeah.
So many variables. It's such a talking point, isn't it?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, just totally.
Definitely is. Tim, let's stay with the Times, shall we? Totally different story, though. Chimps on beer.
Fascinating story. Many researches have been done, and it's in quite a few of the papers. Chimps down alcohol, the equivalent to 2 glasses of wine per day. They estimated the chimps consume an average of 14 milligrams of pure alcohol. This is from fruit that's fallen from the trees, that's fermenting. They eat that. It's the equivalent of 125 millilitre glass of wine, but because they're half the size of us, that's the equivalent to 2 glasses of wine. And they do say that there could be a connection between chimps drinking 2 glasses of wine a day, and that's why we, as humans, have a penchant for glasses. Do you drink wine in the evenings?
I love a wine. Stephen doesn't drink.
I don't drink anymore.
Me neither.
That's why you're so svelte.
Yeah, 20 years it's been.
Wow.
Well done, that's
yeah, but it's one of those things. Thankfully, they do like the alcohol-free wines and stuff.
They've improved.
They're so much better now.
So much better.
Yeah.
I used to love a bottle of wine, a nice bottle of wine, a lot with my dad.
Yeah, amazing, really. But that's why you're so thin, you see. That's why.
I love this study. It does say that fruit pulp is something that humans cannot resist. Fruit pulp, apparently. It's our Achilles heel.
Banana wine.
Yeah.
I can't say it's really... fruit pulp or pizza. All right, Charlotte, energy bills are going up again. I mean, inflation, has it actually hit 5.1% now?
Yeah.
It's food inflation, isn't it?
Food inflation, but also our energy bills are going to go up to £1,820 per year next year. That's actually quite shocking. And some of that money is going towards building Sizewell. Sizewell won't produce electricity till the mid-2030s, so it's really hard to suck it up now, the pain now, for something that's coming down the road later. And of course, those who don't believe in net zero will be furious about this.
Yes.
I think the bigger issue is the money directly going. They say we're raising the tax, or we're raising this tariff, we're raising that. Does the money actually go to where they're saying it's going to be? Because we were talking earlier on, a lot of people are just not going to put their electricity and the heating on this winter because they can't afford it. So it cuts your nose to spite your face. You're just not going to get the money there anyway.
What's going on with these? There was talk about it ages ago, and I did see something in the papers over the last week. I mean, these very small nuclear reactors. I can't know what you call them now, but they're dotted around the country. So they're much, much quicker to build, much easier to get in place. I know people would still have concerns about them, but that could be a way forward.
Yeah, that's a good idea. The quicker they build them, the better, because what's so difficult to stomach is the mid-2030s thing.
Yeah.
Well, this is the thing. I mean, even if you invest now, it'll be decades, isn't it, before you actually see any outcomes. So, I mean, governments wouldn't see it as a priority because they wouldn't then reap the reward, would they?
Yeah, but this is the issue we had in the 2010s, isn't it, when we didn't do anything. So that when's the best time to plant a tree? 10 years ago.
But it's the same with reservoirs, isn't it? I mean, a reservoir has been built in this country for about 30 years. Perhaps needs to be more of a cross-party.
Right, let's talk mating season, Tim. For spiders.
Well, you know, much to cover here. You earlier on today said that you sleep without any clothes on, which is slightly worrying because households can find spiders under the Christmas tree this year. Spiders are coming into the house.
I thought you were saying under the covers.
That
would be freaking out.
You don't know. Well, listen to the rest of you. You're not sure. The mating season, for basically, because we had a warm spring and a warm summer, historically warm, there's lots more insects out there, which means there's lots more food supply for the spiders, which means their mating season, which is from August till November, is going to be prolonged. There's going to be more of them. They're going to be bigger. And the female, this is the horrifying bit, females are already in our homes. They live with us all year round. The males are now the ones that are coming into our houses and are looking for love. This is breeding season, and it's going to be longer.
Not cute.
They're going to be larger in size as well. My mum always swears by putting some conkers in the room to for whatever reason, makes the... So maybe you should get your conkers out in your bedroom. Well, apparently she swears by it that she doesn't get spiders in the bedroom.
Really?
So you made conkers in her room,
Get your conkers out.
Right.
Your mum's the one, isn't she?
Right.
All those
Yeah,
funky
go on. I'd love
scenarios.
to. Fly spray kills them.
I love a fly
so
spray.
toxic, though.
I've
I know, but you see, with the
can in
pets
every room.
now. Have you got it? Do you really?
I do.
You can't. It's so bad.
No, it's very bad. It's very bad because it does look like they suffer when you spray them.
Well, it's not that. It's more you're inhaling all that.
I actually quite like this.
God, you're such a weirdo. You're a weirdo,
You're getting
girl.
high in your own supply there.
But honestly, I can attest to this because my friend went travelling around Australia for 18 months, and she says that it was when she got home, the biggest spider she ever saw was in my bathtub.
Oh, really?
It was about this big.
Oh, my God.
Oh,
I have started noticing bigger spiders in the bathtub,
Terrifying.
actually.
Yeah.
And then I ran out of the room, and when I returned, it had gone.
Oh,
Wrong with your
It's
friend.
probably still lingering.
Oh, God.
I don't know what it is about us a lot, but we just hate. I mean, I've got a real thing about spiders.
Yeah.
I just can't bear them.
Maybe it's because we're not exposed to them. Whereas
Not
if you
used
lived in
to them.
Australia, you'd be probably a bit calmer.
Yeah.
It's a good reason not to turn the heating on, because the house will be cold and they won't come in.
Yeah.
And we'll save money.
Good thinking, Batman. Excellent. Should we have a quick look, Charlotte, at the royal banquet? Because it was, honestly, some of the... It's very, very fancy food.
I know, well, Charles is really into eating locally sourced food, seasonal food, so it's probably no surprise that he had Norfolk chicken. Of course, the royals have a house in every county, pretty much. Anyway, so there's Hampshire watercress, panna cotta, Norfolk chicken, Kentish raspberry sorbet.
Ooh, I like the sound of that.
Poached Victoria plums. I mean, it was a very fancy menu. I really want to know how much of it Charles actually ate. I mean, not Charles, Donald Trump. Charles eats everything, actually, but the Donald, not so much. Do you think he ate the quail's eggs? Or would he have been a bit fussy and wanting a McDonald's?
It just looks very rich to me, and I'm trying to do OMAD at the moment.
What's that?
What's that?
1 meal a day.
Oh, right.
Which basically have one healthy meal a day, and it basically makes your body's fasting much better. Make sure it's a good meal. So I couldn't eat that.
How are you getting along with 1 meal a day?
Well, it's not as bad as you think once you get into the frame of mind. You know, obviously you get up here. I can still have coffee and a cup of tea, but then in the afternoon I'll have... Obviously it goes out... I have my children 1 week on, 1 week off, so I'm daddy daycare 1 week. So when they're around, there's just too many temptations. But the other week, try and do 1 meal a day.
I've got the opposite of that. I eat all my meals and then my kids' meals. I'll eat like half a fish finger and the leftover baked beans.
And you must have
I'm on
worms.
6 meals a day.
You can eat all that. I've only got to look at a gatto when I put weight on.
Raising on the kids' food.
I will say that. Hopefully we can get these photos up for the top of the 9 o'clock, but it looks as though the Princess of Wales was the secret weapon last night. We're just seeing these photos now of the Princess of Wales and President Donald Trump just staring and admiring each other. Big smiles. I mean, fantastic photos.
Her expression is amazing. It's almost like she sort of gets the Donald Trump joke and she's here for it and she's kind of going along and, you know, got a bit of sense of humour about it all.
Seated next to him, so that the palace must know she can be trusted when it comes to...
Oh, yes. Oh, she's very cautious.
Their guest of honour.
Yeah, she's very careful how she speaks. She would never say the wrong thing, but also he would be offended if he wasn't next to the most beautiful person in the room.
But this is a prime example of the royals being used for such a great effect, isn't it? The royals get knocked all the time about, you know, all kinds of things, but look at how it's brought everybody together. And Keir Starmer isn't on that table eating the banquet and having the quail's eggs. He's been left out that deliberately, and the royals have stepped up to the plate, and good for them for doing that. You can't criticise our country for doing pomp and ceremony.
No.
Be it funerals, births, weddings, everybody tunes in.
Yeah, especially Donald Trump. He's just such an Anglophile. And you're right, Lady Starmer, nowhere to be seen. I don't even know what she was wearing, actually. I need to check.
No, but, I mean, it is. I mean, we talk a lot about soft power, but it is that soft power, and it's influence, isn't it? I mean, who wouldn't be influenced by being invited to a fancy dinner with the royal family? You just would be swept off your feet, wouldn't you?
Yeah.
And you can see how the soft power works. I mean, even yesterday, day before, actually, President Trump was being asked about the US-UK trade deal. He was saying, yeah, we can take a look at it. And you can see why, when this is the sort of reception he receives when he lands here.
It'd be mortifying if we didn't get a good deal after all that.
Well, fingers crossed. Yeah. Fingers crossed. Talk about soft power from you two, charming us all the way this morning. Thank you very much indeed. It's been good to see you.
Get your conkers.
Now let's get a check on the weather.
Today's outlook: cool, calm and completely horizontal. Boxed Aircon sponsors the weather on GB News.
Morning. Welcome along to your latest weather update from the Met Office here on GB News. Warm conditions for some today, pretty wet conditions for others. Been a very windy night across northern Scotland. The wind's easing here a little bit, but still plenty of showers packing in over the Highlands. Quite a damp start again for Wales, and the rain's going to get heavier through the day over northwest England, parts of Northern Ireland. Quite a bit of cloud this morning over central and southern parts of England, but that cloud should break up. Much of the east will stay dry and bright, and with some sunshine here, 23, 24, maybe even 25 Celsius. Cooler further west, should be turning drier and brighter across Wales by this afternoon, but getting quite breezy as the rain continues to come into Northern Ireland later today, and it will pep up in southwest Scotland as well. Those gusty winds, as I said, steadily easing over northern Scotland, but still quite breezy here. The showers should ease too. We'll see some sunshine over eastern Scotland. After a largely dry, bright day, we'll see the central belt turning damp for this evening. Some heavy rain likely over parts of northwest England, and North Wales seeing the odd shower, but generally turning drier over Wales and staying fine for much of the day over the Midlands, southern and eastern England. Just a bit breezy here. Through the night, that zone of wetter weather will continue, so further heavy rain possible over northwest England, North Wales and southwest Scotland, especially the brighter colours there. Need to watch that because the rain building up over the next 24 hours or so. Another pretty mild night in the south. Temperatures, well, may well stay in the mid-teens in towns and cities. On to Friday, and again, big contrasts. Warm with some hazy autumn sunshine over eastern England, staying pretty wet for parts of northwest England, north and west Wales. Something a bit brighter for much of Scotland, Northern Ireland, some good spells of sunshine here, and temperatures here getting into the high teens, but mid-20s likely over parts of eastern England, maybe even as high as 26 Celsius across the southeast tomorrow.
Today's outlook: cool, calm and completely horizontal. Boxed Aircon sponsors the weather on GB News.
Crash Law 24 sponsors GB News Traffic and Travel Report.
Good morning, this is the latest AI travel news from gbnews.com. The A92 is closed to double-decker buses and a 30 miles per hour speed limit is causing delays. Drive cautiously. On the M11 southbound between junction 14 and 12, there's a serious collision with all lanes blocked. In Hampshire, the A31 eastbound at the junction with the A338 north has one lane closed, leading to 20-minute delays. There's an accident on the M11 southbound between junction 13 and 12. Emergency services are on site. And on the trains, there are no trains running between Exeter Central and Exmouth. And buses replace trains between Corkickle and Whitehaven. For more travel news, go to gbnews.com.
Crash Law 24 sponsors GB News Traffic and Travel Report.
It's our biggest Great British giveaway to date. You could be driving away with this brand new Benamar Primera motorhome. This 4-berth home from home comes complete with integrated kitchen and bathroom areas and has all of the tech you'd expect from the latest 2025 model. We'll also give you an incredible £30,000 in tax-free cash to make sure that any adventures you take in your new motorhome are taken in style. For a chance to win, text WIN to 63225. One entry costs £2.50 plus one standard network rate message, or text BONUS to 63225. 5 entries cost £5 plus one standard network rate message. Go to gbnews.com/win. Entries start at £2.50. Call 0903 686 3232. Calls cost £2.50 plus your network access charge. Or post your name and number to GB16 PO Box 8690 Derby DE1 9TT. UK only. Entrance must be 18 or over. Lines close at 4 p.m. on the 31st of October. Please check the closing time if listening or watching on demand.
You want to know what's really going on in the corridors of power? Labour don't know what to do with you half the time, and that makes you quite lethal in the chamber. Get behind the headlines with Chopper's political podcast. Join me, Christopher Hope, as I sit down with the great and the good of British politics. We'll see where this ruling takes us. These are the stories shaping our nation. Chopper's political podcast, available now on all platforms. Listen in and stay ahead.
It's Patrick Christie's Tonight, and here
We do things differently.
It's explaining the absolute madness of this, doesn't it?
It's explosive.
I mean, this is very good.
It's lively.
850. Your government sat there, Sean, and it did nothing.
It's controversial.
I think the Middle East has been in turmoil since before I was born.
It's everything you need to kickstart your evening.
Everyone's had their Weetabix tonight. I love to see it.
That's Patrick Christie's Tonight, weeknights from 9 p.m. Only on GB News, the People's Channel, Britain's news channel.
Good morning. The final day of Donald Trump's historic second state visit.
Well, as the president prepares to head to Chequers this morning after a night to remember at the state banquet in Windsor.
Well, King Charles used his speech to highlight the war on Ukraine.
Mr. President, from York to New York, from Birmingham, England to Birmingham, Alabama, we are united by a common language and shared heritage.
Well, the environment spokesperson for the Lib Dems backs Sir Ed Davies' decision to boycott the state banquet over the crisis in Gaza.
Well, know that the way world politics works, the one man on planet Earth who could pick up the phone and stop all that is Donald Trump, and he refuses to do so. And so what does Ed Davey do? He chooses to use the voice that he has in order to make this stand.
The Home Secretary accuses migrants of mocking British laws as she vows to appeal blocks on deporting migrants to France.
US late-night host Jimmy Kimmel's programme is pulled from the airwaves indefinitely following comments about the shooting of Charlie Kirk.
And pubs priced out. We're finding why publicans are warning the Great British Pub could soon be a thing of the past.
Pubs are the backbone of the British society. People love pubs, and we feel that we're being taxed down.
Big contrasts across the UK today. A very wet day for some, a warm day for others, and temperatures likely to rise in the southeast for tomorrow, maybe up to 26 degrees Celsius. Find out all the details with me coming up shortly.
It's just gone 9 o'clock. I'm Stephen Dixon.
I'm Ellie Costello, and this is GB News Breakfast.
Well, President Trump is preparing to head to Chequers this morning after last night's historic state banquet in Windsor.
Yes, King Charles addressed attendees reflecting on the enduring relationship between the two nations and even referenced support for Ukraine.
Our countries have the closest defence, security and intelligence relationship ever known. In 2 world wars, we fought together to defeat the forces of tyranny. Today, as tyranny once again threatens Europe, we and our allies stand together in support of Ukraine to deter aggression and secure peace.
Well, that was last night. What is going to happen today? Let's go live to Chequers and talk to James Murray, who's Chief Secretary to the Treasury. Good to see you this morning. It is going to be all about the money today, isn't it? This is all about the trade deal and particularly steel tariffs.
Well, you're right that today is going to be about the £150 billion of investment coming from the US to the UK as part of the deal and part of the work the Prime Minister's been leading with the US. And, you know, I think it's really important to emphasise what a big package of investment this is. It's a real vote of confidence in the UK economy and in our country, and it will make a real difference to people's lives by creating jobs in different parts of the UK and making people better off. Can I give you one example of the kind of thing we're going to be investing in? There's a US company called X Energy. They're going to be working with Centrica, who own British Gas, to invest in building up to 12 advanced modular reactors. That's small nuclear power reactors. Now, these 12 reactors will create energy for 1.5 million homes, 2,500 jobs, and add billions to the economy. So it's a really important thing. That's going to take place in Hartlepool, bringing jobs and prosperity in that local area. But there will be investments right across the UK. So we talk about big numbers, 150 billion, and it is a huge number, but it makes a real difference to people's lives.
Looking ahead to the press conference this afternoon between Keir Starmer and President Trump, it could be a very tricky one for the Prime Minister. I'm sure that journalists there are going to ask difficult questions about things where perhaps the UK and the US are not always aligned. Do you think that there are going to be questions asked about potential contradictions between the way that Lord Mandelson was fired for his friendship with Lord Mandelson, but then we saw yesterday President Trump getting the red carpet treatment? How is the Prime Minister going to answer that sort of question?
Well, look, I hope that the press conference will focus on the investment in the UK, which has been delivered as
well, you
part
know
of
there's
this
going to be questions
state
about Lord
visit,
Mandelson.
because there's so many. Well, look, it's up to journalists to work out what they want to ask at the press conference later, but there's so much to talk about when it comes to the deal that we've done with the US. It's not just the headline £150 billion and all the different ways in which that's going to be invested. There's also a nuclear deal to make sure we can build nuclear power quicker. There's a tech deal, which means that we can use things like AI and quantum computing more efficiently to have medical breakthroughs to help tackle cancer and create new drugs. There's so much people can ask about. It's up to journalists what they ask about later, but there's a lot to talk about in terms of what we've achieved with the US this week.
Well, look, I mean, we understand why you don't want to answer questions about all of that. I mean, but the Prime Minister's not going to have much of a choice when he's up there next to the President. In terms of all the, I mean, obviously, this investment is very important, right? And as you say, it's going to hopefully create a lot of jobs, which improves whole communities. That's all very positive. But what sort of timescale are we talking about? Because what you will be very aware of is that people are frustrated now. People are ready to see things improve right now. What sort of timescale are we looking at with some of these major projects?
So some of this investment will happen almost immediately. Some of them are ready to go, in the coming weeks and months. Others will be over the next 10 years because we're talking about obviously sizable investments here in long-term projects. So it depends on which individual project, exactly when the investment is delivered. But what we know as a government is that a lot of families across the country are finding things tough right now, which is why, whilst at the same time as securing this investment and putting our economy in a better place, we are also taking action right now, boosting the national living wage, extending the £3 bus fare cap, extending free school meals for more children. All of that can help people now. But what we need to do over the medium and long term is to get the economy in a better place, which is why this investment in our infrastructure, in our jobs, in our local communities is so important.
Can we look at the one-in, one-out deal with France? Because it appears that the Home Office has failed to deport a single migrant. That's despite booking seats on an Air France plane for the past 3 days. This is because of legal challenges, which you could argue was entirely predictable. We've seen this happen before with the Rwanda scheme, haven't we? But this is a farce, isn't it?
Well, look, it's intensely frustrating, and I know that the Home Secretary has expressed quite how frustrated she is at this, and we all are as government ministers frustrated by this last-minute attempt to thwart what we were trying to do to stop people being deported. We are determined for the deportations to begin imminently. The Home Secretary has explained how she will be standing up for the British public's interest in court. She'll be fighting this every step of the way because we want these deportations to go ahead imminently, and that's what she will be pushing for to make sure that happens.
It's fair to say, isn't it, that Shabana Mahmood appears to be taking more action and appears to be pursuing a much more robust stance on this in the last couple of weeks than Yvette Cooper's done in the last year.
Did he say so at the press conference?
Well, there's been a huge amount of work over the last year when the former Home Secretary was in her position, whether that's getting the Borders Bill, getting that introduced in Parliament and beginning to take that through and get that into law, whether that's closing hotels for asylum seekers, whether that's negotiating deals with the French and so on. We've now got Shabana Mahmood as the Home Secretary, and as you can see, she is saying, as a result of what's happened in the last few days, she won't stand for it. She's intensely frustrated by it, and she's going to do everything she can to fight it every step of the way.
It's strong rhetoric from Shabana Mahmood. Do we need to go further, though? Do we need to review the Modern Slavery Act? Because the case of this individual that we've just been discussing, he initially said he suffered no exploitation when he arrived in Britain. He's then changed his story and said that he was a victim of modern slavery. And this is what we're seeing time and time again, aren't we? A misuse of this defence. Do we need to change it so that migrants are submitting asylum and modern slavery claims together? That would make sense, wouldn't it?
Well, look, I think really, to be honest, what has happened in this case makes a mockery of our laws and of our country's generosity. I think, as I understand it, this individual has decided, they're a modern slave at this late stage, despite having never mentioned that before. And as I say, it is a mockery of our legislation and our modern slavery, which is important legislation. But what this person has done doesn't take that seriously, and that's why the Home Secretary is so determined to take this head on and make sure these deportations can go ahead.
OK. Minister, appreciate your time. As that helicopter arrives behind you, I don't know who that is. It might be the President. You never know. Good to see you. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Landing right behind the Minister there.
That would be a good shot, wouldn't it?
It would be a good shot.
Yeah.
We're going to talk to Catherine at Chequers in just a moment. But first, let's just remind you about the Great British Giveaway and your chance to be our biggest winner to date. Here are the details.
This is your chance to win a motorhome and cash in our biggest prize giveaway to date. Courtesy of Marquis Leisure, you could be the proud owner of this 2025 Benamar Primero. It comfortably accommodates 4 people, comes with integrated bathroom and kitchen areas, has plenty of storage and can be driven on your standard driving licence. Plus, you'll also bank an incredible £30,000 in tax-free cash to spend on anything you like. Make sure you don't miss out.
For another chance to win, text WIN to 63225. One entry costs £2.50 plus one standard network rate message. Or text BONUS to 63225. 5 entries cost £5 plus one standard network rate message. Go to gbnews.com/win. Entries start at £2.50. Call 0903 686 3232. Calls cost £2.50 plus your network access charge. Or post your name and number to GB16 PO Box 8690 Derby DE1 9TT. UK only. Entrants must be 18 or over. Lines close at 4 p.m. on the 31st of October. The winner will be contacted live on GB News, week commencing 10th November. Please check the closing time if listening or watching on demand. Good luck.
Well, let's get some snap analysis, shall we, from political correspondent Catherine Forster at Chequers ahead of that bilateral meeting between the Prime Minister and President Trump later on today. Catherine, you're just listening across there to James Murray from the government. What did you make of what he had to say?
Well, the government incredibly happy with this £150 billion investment by US companies coming our way over the next few years. A lot of that in artificial intelligence. Of course, what we don't know is what we are going to have to give in return. But the government say that this is a big win. It's a record-breaking sum of money. But look, the whole purpose of this state visit, the pomp, the pageantry yesterday, is to put Donald Trump into the best possible mood, the best frame of mind to give us a deal, basically, a better deal than we have already. Now, we've already got a better deal than everybody else. The government will be happy to say that over and over again. But of course, the tariffs that Trump is so fond of have made life much harder for us, and particularly in regards to steel. Now, other countries are paying 50%. We're only paying 25%, but we were told that that was going to go down to 0 4 months ago, and it still hasn't happened. Now, Number 10 have told me this morning that those negotiations are still ongoing, and the Prime Minister will meet the President. He will arrive by helicopter, and there will be trade meetings also with investors, and the Chancellor will be here too. And then there will be that big press conference, which could be very perilous for both of them, with some potentially very awkward questions coming, maybe over free speech, maybe over Russia, Ukraine, almost certainly over Jeffrey Epstein, a topic that neither the President or the Prime Minister wants to talk about, but I think almost certainly they're going to have to.
Very potentially awkward conversations ahead. Catherine, thank you very much. You're going to be there all day with analysis for us. Thank you.
I can hear music.
So can I. Is that coming from down the line, or is that in this building?
It can't be. It must be in the building.
Sounds like a band.
I was thinking it was there was some sort of concert on at Chequers, but it's somewhere here. Someone's playing music in the studio, in the building.
Someone's having a party.
How very odd. You probably can't hear it at home. You're not missing anything. Anyway, look, let's tell you what's happening from Monday, because we're bringing more coverage of events from America and news from the White House when our new show The Late Show Live launches in Washington, D.C. Here's what you can expect.
Decisions made in Washington aren't just shaping America, they're shaping Britain too. From migration to global security, from crime to health. Whatever happens in the White House today
will be felt in your town or city tomorrow.
That's why The Late Show is live from Washington, D.C.
Cutting through the politics to show you what it all means for Britain.
The Late Show Live starts Monday night at midnight.
Only on GB News,
Britain's news channel.
That's going to be exciting.
It's going to be great.
I'm looking forward to it.
Yeah. I might be recording it rather than staying up till midnight.
It is.
Which is the thing to do. If you don't want to stay up till midnight, just record it.
Yeah. Now, still to come, pubs are suffering. We all know that, but what can we do about it? We're going to find out next.
Hi, I'm Michelle Dewberry, and my show is your opportunity to cut through all the noise and dive in headfirst to some robust debates. Ideas clash.
Situation, isn't it?
No,
because the failure is
you're deliberately avoiding my point. Nothing's held back,
And if you think this is the end of it, wait for more.
and we do not shy away from the difficult stuff. Sometimes I want to shake people and say, if only you understood. So join me on Jubes & Co weeknights at 6 p.m, only on GB News, Britain's news channel.
From the school run to the home run, watch a new show for all of Britain.
He can say whatever he wants.
A straight talking show where all voices are heard.
And, you know, when are we going to stop talking about smashing the gangs and actually do it?
With the stories that matter from every part of our country.
There's a bit of a crash landing there for your Chancellor.
Bold, fearless and standing up for you. That's me, Martin Daubney, 3 p.m. till 6 p.m, weekdays, here only on GB News. The People's Channel, Britain's news channel.
Westminster's full of talk, but out here, it's the real world.
Am I allowed to talk then?
No, that's it. This is where it matters, real people and real lives. That's what politics is all about.
The fact that Trump made a good start, no.
Straight answers, no spin, and just a couple of pints. How many fingers have I got up?
About 10.
So join me for Lee Anderson's Real World every Friday at 7 p.m, only on GB News. The People's Channel, Britain's news channel.
Decisions made in Washington aren't just shaping America, they're shaping Britain too. From migration to global security, from crime to health. Whatever happens in the White House today
will be felt in your town or city tomorrow.
That's why The Late Show is live from Washington, D.C.
Cutting through the politics to show you what it all means for Britain.
The Late Show Live starts Monday night at midnight.
Only on GB News,
Britain's news channel.
Britain was once the envy of the world. But look around. A nation that no longer knows what it is or where it's going. A country that's broken. How do we fix Britain? How do we bring it back? Friday night with Matt Goodwin at 8 p.m.
Only on GB News.
At GB News, we love to hear from you, our loyal community. So drop us a line at gbnews.com/yoursay. There, you can talk to each other and also to the presenters live on air. gbnews.com/yoursay, because GB News is your channel, Britain's news channel.
Join me, Nana Akwe, for an informative, interactive news programme with a difference. It's fun.
No, he didn't say that, Dave.
I'm so surprised.
I think there's an element of truth to that.
Join me from 3 p.m. every weekend, only on GB News, Britain's news channel.
Now, if you're heading to the pub, Wetherspoons are cutting their prices by 7.5% today as part of a tax equality day.
Yeah, good news, isn't it? But it's also a message to the government to cut the 20% VAT rate paid by the hospitality industry on food and drink. Sophie Reaper has been finding out more.
Business, please. The Great British Pub. Along with the rest of the hospitality industry, they make up a valuable cornerstone of our society. But recent times have been tough, with many in the industry not sure what the future holds.
Pubs are the backbone of the British society. People love pubs and we feel that we're being taxed out. We want to make sure that Wetherspoon is part of a vibrant pub community, and as a result we want other pubs to survive as well, and we feel that tax equality between pubs and supermarkets is something that will really help out.
And so, for one day, Wetherspoon's pubs around the UK are cutting the price of food and drink by 7.5%. They want to show the government the benefits of lowering how much those in hospitality pay in VAT.
If we do get a reduction in VAT, that would be good for customers because we'll be able to charge them less as well. So 7.5% is merely showing what we could take off the cost of their pint if we were allowed to have the equality between ourselves and supermarkets.
Every single week, 8 British pubs on average are closing their doors. And so, although a VAT tax cut of 7.5% may seem like just a drop in the metaphorical pint glass, for those in the industry, they say they need all the help they can get. Meanwhile, punters have also started to notice a problem, with many of them calling for more support for their beloved boozers.
You can lower the tax, you bring more people into the pubs, it boosts the economy, everybody's a winner.
People are lonely in the house, they can't afford to go out and have a pint and then enjoy, socialising with people.
Look around the room. This is the centre of this community. Without it, people are lost. This is where people meet friends, this is where people get support. We need it.
When asked by GB News about the potential for a VAT tax cut, a spokesperson from the Treasury said, "Pubs, cafes and restaurants are vital to local communities. That's why we're cutting the cost of licensing, helping more pubs, cafes and restaurants offer pavement drinks and alfresco dining, and extending business rates relief for these businesses. This is on top of cutting alcohol duty on draft pints while increasing supermarket alcohol in line with inflation and capping corporation tax." And yet, more than 200 pubs in England and Wales closed their doors for good in the first 6 months of this year alone. Now, the message from both landlords and customers alike is clear. We need to save our great British pubs. Sophie Reaper, GB News.
Right, coming up in a moment, Andrew and Miriam have got Britain's Newsroom. Good morning.
Good morning. And we've got a lot more Trump, and I can't get enough, frankly. Trump at Chequers.
Indeed, I was at Windsor yesterday. It all went very well. He was very well behaved, but there's a press conference today. Will he say anything slightly more inflammatory?
He will go off message because that's what he does, and that's why we like him.
Indeed, and of course we've got latest on the trade talks and also looking at pubs. Why, as you've just been saying, why is Wetherspoon cutting its prices when everybody else's are going up?
Because of their extra chance of taxing.
Yeah, we'll have lots on that. But stick with us. First of all, here's your weather.
Expect warm spells with the odd rude interruption. Box Boilers sponsors the weather on GB News.
Morning, welcome along to your latest weather update from the Met Office here on GB News. Warm conditions for some today, pretty wet conditions for others. Been a very windy night across northern Scotland. The wind's easing here a little bit, but still plenty of showers packing in over the Highlands. Quite a damp start again for Wales, and the rain's going to get heavier through the day over northwest England, parts of Northern Ireland. Quite a bit of cloud this morning over central and southern parts of England, but that cloud should break up. Much of the east will stay dry and bright, and with some sunshine here, 23, 24, maybe even 25 Celsius. Cooler for the west, should be turning drier and brighter across Wales by this afternoon, but getting quite breezy as the rain continues to come into Northern Ireland later today, and it will pep up in southwest Scotland as well. Those gusty winds, as I said, steadily easing over northern Scotland, but still quite breezy here. The showers should ease too. We'll see some sunshine over eastern Scotland. After a largely dry, bright day, we'll see the central belt turning damp for this evening. Some heavy rain likely over parts of northwest England, and North Wales seeing the odd shower, but generally turning drier over Wales and staying fine for much of the day over the Midlands, southern and eastern England. Just a bit breezy here. Through the night, that zone of wetter weather will continue, so further heavy rain possible over northwest England, North Wales and southwest Scotland, especially the brighter colours there. Need to watch that because the rain building up over the next 24 hours or so. Another pretty mild night in the south. Temperatures, well, may well stay in the mid-teens in towns and cities. On to Friday, and again, big contrasts. Warm with some hazy autumn sunshine over eastern England, staying pretty wet for parts of northwest England, north and west Wales. Something a bit brighter for much of Scotland, Northern Ireland, some good spells of sunshine here, and temperatures here getting into the high teens, but mid-20s likely over parts of eastern England, maybe even as high as 26 Celsius across the southeast tomorrow.
Expect warm spells with the odd rude interruption. Boxed Boilers sponsors the weather on GB News.
Crash Law 24 sponsors GB News Traffic and Travel Report.
Good morning. This is the latest AI travel news from gbnews.com. The A92 is closed to double-decker buses and the speed limit is reduced to 30 miles per hour for safety. On the M11 southbound, an accident disrupts traffic between junction 13 and junction 12. Expect delays. In Hampshire, congestion arises on the A31 eastbound at the A338 North junction due to an incident, with one lane closed. Traffic on the M60 in Salford faces a 10-minute delay, expected to clear by 10:34 this morning. And on the trains, Southeastern reports major disruption between Newington and Rochester, extending to Margate and Ramsgate. For more travel news, go to gbnews.com.
Crash Law 24 sponsors GB News Traffic and Travel Report.
GB News Breakfast, every day from 6 a.m.
The cost of parking, it's increased by, wait for it, 500%.
And they've done that overnight without consultation, right?
Yeah.
So it now costs £4.85 an hour, right? And what's that going to do? It's going to stop people visiting. And it's not easy to get around York, I have to say. One road in, one road out type thing, congestion around the place. Yes, there's car parking spaces, but goodness me, I mean, this is obviously very, very controversial, and these are the sort of taxes, indirect taxes, that come on all of us. It's now going to cost us so much money just to get there, just to see there. Tell us more.
That's right, Eamon, and the City of York Council have introduced this to try and reduce congestion, to try and get more people on buses, more people cycling to go shopping. But of course, that infrastructure hasn't been put in place. There's not been extra buses put on. There's not been extra bike racks for people to park. And certainly when you're doing a shop, a lot of the shops here are greengrocers, butchers. How are you going to carry all that on a bike? I'd like to introduce you to Karen now. She's just come to pay for parking, expecting that it was going to be 80p. How do you feel when you've just seen this price rise today?
I am really annoyed. I've come out with enough money to pay basically for 2 hours. I'm having my hair done, which then, knowing now that this is, say, triple what it would have been, then my online payment isn't working. So I'm effectively not able to pay, which is really, really, really annoying.
GB News, the People's Channel.
I think for far too long in this country, millions of people felt as though they weren't represented at all by the establishment media.
GB News was needed because there literally was no other voice. Everyone was saying the same thing.
GB News exists because there is a desperate need for fearless journalists